Okay, ready?
Yes. Oh, you don't even have an agenda, huh?
It's the last show of the year.
all good.
We know what we want to talk about.
Right. Well, I missed, so. Since I decided to become a plethora of germs.
Well, you don't look like a Victorian child.
And what was that?
A dying Victorian child.
Devil Wears Prada. She's like, antibacterial wipes? When she comes in, she's like...
That scene actually is really surprising considering how Emily Blunt. Well, yes, Emily Blunt, but her character in that movie, she's so pristine and precise with her job. Like, she doesn't want to do anything to screw it up.
Right.
And then she comes in ill, like,
but the
I'm like,
yeah,
really?
Because the point
This is the time?
she doesn't miss work ever.
Well, nobody does if you
Except for
want
when
to stay employed.
she broke her leg, then she had to.
You eat carbs, for Christ's sake. Carbs. I love that.
And she's shoving a...
She's the best part. Actually, worst part of that movie is Anne Hathaway and that horrible guy that plays her boyfriend.
We all... You know what's so funny is...
all the rest is amazing. Stanley Tucci, Meryl Streep.
Everybody.
Emily Blunt. Those
Yes.
three, perfect. And you realize that that's when he met Emily Blunt?
Who?
Stanley Tucci's wife died of breast cancer.
Oh.
And he knew Emily, and she was she had invited him to her wedding when she married the cutie pie from The Office.
She's still married to him, by the way.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
Well, she invited Stanley Tucci to her wedding. She's like, please come to London, come to my wedding. You're widowed, you're sad, come.
Right. Have fun.
Met her sister.
He married her sister?
They fell madly in love, and now they've been married for years.
How cute is that?
I love it. And she is adorable. And I think she's
she's English.
She's a PR girl for like the literary world.
Perfect.
And so they live in London.
How cute is that?
I know.
I love that story. I did not know. I did not know. I
Yes.
did know he was a widow. I did not know that all of that went down.
I know, but I'm like,
It's cute.
So
They're kind of a funny couple, her and her husband, because I know he's famous and he's funny and all of that stuff, but he's dorky looking if he weren't in Hollywood, right?
I mean, he's got that cute golden retriever look.
I liked him. The first time I really noticed him, believe it or not, was in that movie with Meryl Streep and Alec Baldwin.
Oh, when she starts sleeping with her ex-husband again.
Yes.
What is that movie
Gosh
called?
darn it. I love that movie. It's
I know.
ridiculous that I don't know it. But yes, so he was her son, Meryl Streep's son-in-law. He was married to her daughter.
And he's good in that movie.
And he's very funny. Super cute. I liked him in that movie.
too.
Yeah.
I like that movie.
I love that movie.
just can't remember the name of it.
I can't either, but it reminded me, I think if you've ever been divorced, everybody, well, not everybody, but a lot of people will think and go, I wonder if we didn't get divorced, like what would have happened?
Right.
Or all these years later, would we be okay now as a couple?
Mm-hmm.
Because the things that used to be terrible when you were young, you don't have to deal with those things anymore. So I liked it. I thought it was cute because at the end of the day, it's like, no, it could probably never work.
No, you're
it's
still
a dumb
a dick.
idea. Yeah, it's a dumb idea.
Not to mention he was actually in love with his wife, even though she was 30 years younger, but meh.
Yeah, no, he wasn't in love with her. Remember, they got divorced.
At the end?
Yes.
He divorced her?
Yes. He wasn't never really in love with her.
But he had children with her, right?
No.
Didn't they
They
have
were
one
trying to
child?
get pregnant.
And she never got
She
pregnant?
had a kid from another relationship.
Oh, see how much I pay
And
attention?
he was, and he was helping her raise it, and he was in hell because the kid was 5, and he was
he's
like
like
50.
60.
Yeah, he was. It was hilarious.
God.
Anyway,
All right. Anyway, welcome to the Ugly Truth.
I digress. Yeah.
Final show of 2022.
I know. How
Here we
crazy
are.
is
We're
that?
doing it. I can't believe it. I was thinking about it. I was trying to recap this year of shows, and there is no doubt when I think of some of the funniest things that came out of this show this year, the number one thing that came out over and over again was your ugly and awkward moment when you walked into your work with a hoop earring stuck to your mask.
Oh, that was fun.
I visualize it when I think about it. I'm like, what's the funniest thing that happened? That was hands down the best ugly and awkward moment of the year to me. I would rank that literally number one.
And what was so funny is I
And the
can't
fact that
remember.
no one said anything to
No
you.
one said it to me until I got to my actual desk. And thank you, my work family, for being honest. They were the only ones who were like, we have to tell you. I have someone in my unit who does that a lot to me because I'm awkward all the time.
Sure.
So I either have a piece of Kleenex, falling on my cheek or, just something weird. Mm-hmm. And it's a guy too. And he's always like, he's just very direct about it. He's like, oh, you have something stuck on your lip. You have lettuce in your teeth, Stephanie. I'm like,
oh no.
And I'm glad, but at the same time, I'm always mortified.
I go, you're way too aware.
But at least he tells me because I would walk around forever like that.
I mean, that's the thing. It's like,
but it does suck.
Well, and it is one of those things where it's like, do you want to be the person that no one says anything to? So you just look a fool? Or do you want someone to go, excuse me, but your zipper's down?
You know what? I had to do it. Maybe that's why he does it to me because I actually asked him. It was our boss, and I'm like, "Our boss's fly is down," and he's like, "Tell him." I'm like, I can't.
I hate him.
He's like, "Well, yeah. Not only do I hate him, but two, even if I didn't hate him, it was.
Why are you looking down there?
I mean, it was so weird. And he's like, you have to tell him. I'm like, you tell him. I just told you, so you tell him. You're a guy. He's like, no.
Yeah, that's better, actually.
He's like, I'm not going to tell him. You're the one that saw it. And he goes, no, well, I'm just going to go waltzing in his office and be like, hey, your fly's open. Someone said so. And I'm like,
oh my God.
No.
You know how many times I've had my fly down?
He's like, Skype him. I'm like, all right.
Skyped him.
Skyped him. I did.
Hello, sir.
He's all, thank you. Just wrote back, thank you.
He's probably so like, God, why?
Because we were having the debate, would you rather be humiliated by a coworker or a colleague telling you, or would you rather be humiliated when you discover it on your own? And who knows how long it's been like that?
I mean, I'd rather have someone humiliate me by telling me.
Yeah, because I mean,
for sure.
Can you imagine walking around and then all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, how long has it been like that?
And why, and then you have to question, why are they allowing this? Is it because they want me humiliated or because they were embarrassed to tell me?
It's usually the latter, but yeah. Well, and with guys, they have something that protrudes.
Yeah.
So at least with girls, there's nothing, you know what I mean?
It's not just embarrassing.
Yeah, you just, okay, you saw my underwear, I'm wearing granny panties today. That's about it, But with a guy, there's like something like poking out, and I'm like, I would die.
Daryl and I were talking about, we went to Disney. It was a whirlwind trip. It was a work thing, and it was really fun. We were exhausted. We walked way too much, but one of our things that we agree upon is bringing babies to Disneyland is just pure hell. Like, why would you do that to yourself, right?
I don't know, or to the rest of us.
Well, that and all the fucking strollers. But I asked him.
Well, strollers are necessary because even if you have younger children,
umbrella strollers
umbrella
are
strollers.
Different, but these are people who bring double wides.
Well, that's because they want something to put all their things in.
I'm aware.
Right.
Anyway,
like a little limo on wheels.
So I asked him, I go, okay, would you rather go to Disneyland with a 18-month-old from Friday to Sunday, open to close?
Oh God, I'd die.
Or
no one could survive that.
One would think.
No one.
And I can't remember what the or was. Damn it.
Oh.
But it was like, that's
be
not
worse.
enough. Because I'm like, there's no, I do anything else other than that. What else is there? Oh, or would you, from Friday to Sunday, open to close, be required to use one of the Scooty chairs?
Oh, for God's sakes. That's an easy one.
The motorized Scooty chair.
Definitely Scooty chair. Any day of the week and twice on Sunday. I would rather die than go anywhere with a small child.
Preach.
For that long. Preach. I mean, we would argue about who's going to go to the grocery store. I'll go. No, I'll go. I want to go. Please, I'm leaving. You stay here with the kid.
Or they'll go, hello? And they'll be like, text. Where are you? I'm at the grocery store.
Right?
Like, what do you mean? I thought you were in the bathroom. I escaped.
Oh, God. Yes.
I fled.
I fleed often.
You flee the scene often.
I flee often. Yes.
Yeah. I was okay. So we were watching the new stand-up special from Tom Papa. It's on Netflix. I absolutely love him.
Okay.
He's so fucking good. Okay. And funny.
I don't know who it is.
You would see if you saw him. You would go,
know.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm practically a junkie for stand-up comedy. But anyway, so Daryl and I watched it on Saturday night, and he's talking about babies being put in situations where they'll be miserable.
Yeah.
And one of them is being on a plane.
Oh, it is.
And sometimes you have no choice.
Sometimes you have no choice.
I have talked about, but what changes as you get older, or even if you have kids, or you're just older, is you realize that sometimes you have to have a baby on a plane.
Yeah.
But it's not the baby's fault. He's miserable.
It's not the baby's fault.
They cry. It is what they do when they're miserable. Their little body is being affected by pressure,
and they're in a confined
and it's
space,
confined, and they can't lay
or move or walk or run around and do the things that they are programmed to do.
Right, and even the little ones, like
it goes against every grain of their little existence.
They're like, why?
Yes.
So he goes, I was sitting in first class, and there was a baby in first class, I think, crying. Or something like that. And it was crying with the mom and everything. And, nowadays, most people have head canceling or noise canceling headphones. Yeah. So you don't really have to listen to a baby cry. Right. But this dude was complaining. He's like, that fucking baby, like he was really irritated.
So rude.
He goes, you know what? I'm team baby now. Yeah. He's like, you're a grown ass man with 2 hairy arms and a wallet. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, right?
Dude.
And by the way, I have such compassion for the parents.
My God, me too.
Because we all know, we've all been the other person listening to the crying baby at one point of our life.
I feel sorry for them.
We weren't born with children, so we used to have free lives, and most of us traveled prior to having kids. And so now when I see someone like that, my literal heart breaks. And,
because you've been there.
Social media is a beautiful thing in that regard. Like, it's shown us videos of strangers helping mothers that were struggling.
I have witnessed it myself on a plane.
Me too. So,
and it's like, it's
and if we were like that, if we, that's one of the things I love about some things that have evolved in society is things like that.
Yes.
Like back in the day, you were the asshole for having a crying baby.
I know.
Like everybody was like, oh, you fucking asshole. Like you had no right to be on that plane.
I will say, and I'd be like, yeah, my husband died. I'm on my way to a funeral.
Or like my only daughter was getting married. I had to travel.
Exactly.
That was only going to happen once in my life.
Exactly.
However,
I am a big fan of drugging children.
Yeah. I know.
I am. If it's a short enough flight.
Yeah. I know people do it.
Benadryl.
Yeah.
I wouldn't give them anything strong like an adult Ambien or anything. But here, rub this on your gums.
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. Benadryl.
Can you imagine? Wonders. Anyway, so I was thinking about recapping some of the things, and I would say definitely that was the top ugly.
Yeah, that was funny. Mm-hmm. It was what was funny about it is that I literally had no idea. Thank God.
That would have been horrible.
But the girl who I encountered who looked at me, she probably was like, what is this, a new trend, fad, something I'm not aware of?
You're like, what?
I'm like, hi, good morning.
Kill me now.
With an earring on my nose. On my mask.
You have not said anything about this on social media, but it's also because you had the plague.
I was just, if anybody's wondering why I sound this way.
You were very ill.
Barely functionable today, yes.
Yeah, your eyes aren't sunken anymore. You don't look like you had just had surgery.
That's good.
Well, I was telling you last night when we were chatting.
I did look like that yesterday.
I go, there's something really... It's that weird, vulnerable day. It's usually just one day where you said yesterday you've turned a corner, so you're not now bedridden whenever you can possibly be.
Right. It's just that my legs are tired when I take 2 steps.
Right. Like, and so you're like, it's that weird feeling where for me, this is what happens. I've been really, really sick, whether it's the flu or whatever. And you take that one shower that washes away the remnants of the ill, right? You strip your bed and you're getting all fresh now. And you come out of the shower and you're like, okay, I feel pretty good, but I feel very vulnerable right now. And you look and you're like, pretty pale. I feel like at any moment I could be squished like a bug.
Right.
But I know I'm getting better. And you're like, oh, okay.
I think I can actually drive.
I think I might make it.
Yeah.
And then you come, you're like, is there anything to eat?
Well, like yesterday.
Suddenly you're better. And you're like, I guess I can have something,
Yeah, I did get hungry. And, my, because you blow your nose and all of that stuff so much.
Yes.
So I was literally, it's like I'd been skiing. I was peeling like a snake all over my nose and mouth. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. And I can't have flailing skin like that. So I have to go in with the tweezers.
And get it all off.
Every little, So it was
miserable. Or what I will do initially, especially if I don't really feel good, I will slather my mouth and nose with like Vaseline.
I did that, yes.
And just let it.
I was still in the blowing phase at that point. So I'm like, there's no point in trying to. Yeah. So
I can't remember one time I took a chapstick with menthol in it and I just slathered my nostrils.
God.
Because not only could I breathe now, it felt good. The burning felt good.
I had an ex-boyfriend who was addicted to those Vicks vapor sticks that you inhale.
That's serious.
I didn't know. We didn't know. This was when we were,
everything was addictive
school.
back in the day. You used to be able to buy full strength Sudafed over the counter. Who knew?
Well, and I never used it improperly, so I was really mad at those people. I didn't know meth people bought that shit.
Honestly, I cannot tell you how irritated I was when I'm like, what is this nonsense? Like, oh, well, that's the over-the-counter Sudafed. I'm like, no, I want the real shit. I want the stuff that knocks me on my ass.
I have allergies.
I want it to work. Yes. I want that weird chill you get after you take Sudafedrin.
Yeah. Now you know why people
garbage?
Now you know why people are meth heads.
Perhaps
it produces the same feeling in large quantities.
Right.
But yeah, so
who knew about the Afrin? I didn't know.
It was the Vicks one, and it does smell good, and it does work. I didn't know it was addictive. But now I look back and I'm like, yeah, this ex of mine had sticks and sticks. They were everywhere.
Oh my God.
They were in their car. They were in their room. He had them in his pocket all the time. Like, yeah, now I know.
Oh my God.
I'm sure he didn't know.
Yeah.
He just liked it.
So I've mentioned this before, but my doctor's retiring. And I need to find a new doctor. And I had my appointment last week.
With the new guy?
No. My final appointment.
Your final.
What is it? I mean, I have retired more professionals.
Well, that's what happens when we...
Well, they're older than me.
Yeah.
And, but anyway.
Can't work forever.
So I walk in and I'm like, hi, Dr. Fong. And he's like, hello, how are you? I'm like, fine. He goes, you gained 3 pounds. I'm like...
He loves to talk to you about that.
I know it's his job, he talks to everybody. You know how I know? He told Daryl he gained 6 ounces and he needs to lose weight. So I said, I go, Dr. Fung, I have been gaining and losing the same 7 pounds for 8 years. I'm doing my best. I lost 5 last year, so I've really only gained 2. If we're going to do the math. But he goes, well, you could lose a few. And I'm like, thanks for telling me the week leading into Christmas. I'll try real hard. I even joked. I said, look, I don't want to joke about this. I go, but I'm happy to purge before I get on the scale if that will help anything.
Right? Does that make you feel better?
If it helps matters, I'm happy to throw it up. Not to mention I've been constant. And you just go through
I'm never going to him. Well, I'm glad. Thank God he's retiring.
You don't have to.
Yeah.
But anyway,
because my doctor doesn't say anything.
He's such
like
a tiny Asian man.
Well, God, that's the thing about Asian people; they are just
inherently
thin.
And he swims masters he goes swimming every day.
See, Jerry and I were talking about this because that's the thing. That's one of the reasons
that
doctors are healthy because they see sick, fat people.
Absolutely,
and they're like, I'm not going to do that.
It's the same reason why all dentists have veneers because they know like this is a waste of time. Just get the fake teeth and be done with it. Why are you drilling your teeth? Just rip them all out and put new ones in and you look fabulous.
I know. And you never have to worry about it. God.
I read something. I don't remember where it was, but they said you would be amazed the percentage of dentists who have veneers.
Well, they know better.
Because they're like, I would not endure drilling and caps and garbage. I'm just going to have veneers and be done with it.
I know.
And I'm like,
why do they have to cost so much money?
I don't know. But I mean, but ultimately at the end of the day, isn't it worth it? Mm-hmm. Because then you're not getting root canals every 3 years. Oh, God. Anyway, we should take a note.
Indeed.
Anyway, so I had my physical and we went through the whole rigmarole and I said, do I have any skin cancers? And he's all, no, you actually look really great. No skin cancers. I'm like, great. And I said, so I showed him my pinky finger because remember when I drove it along, remember when I told you I was cleaning and I was wiping the baseboard in between the tile and the wood flooring and there's this like guard thing and I was wiping and my pinky drove across it.
And you thought you had
I thought I drove something under my fingernail. Yeah. So I said, this will be interesting to you. And he goes, what? And so I showed it to him and he got his bright spotlight out, put on his glasses, let me look. And I'm like, this is the kind of doctor I would be. So he pulls my pinky and he looks at it, he goes, oh yes. And I go, do you think there's foreign matter in there? He goes, absolutely. And I go,
so what are you going to do?
I go, do we take it out? What do we do? He goes, well, first of all, good news. It's not infected. And I said, well, I knew that because I would have been in the ER long ago. My finger would have
been throbbing and purple and all that.
And rotting. And he's like, but he goes, because of where it's at, he goes, a hand surgeon is where you would have to go if this gets bad.
Oh.
A hand surgeon. And he goes, and they're going to go in. Because they are surgeons and that's what they do. And he goes, the problem is they would probably have to like literally fillet because they'd go in and get it. And I said, I don't really. And so he goes, people get shot all the time and we just leave the bullets in.
It's true.
And I said, so you're attributing this tiny sliver to a bullet? He goes, yeah, no, I can get behind that. I kind of like that. He goes, but if it starts to hurt, he goes, it could force its way out.
It might. What do they call it? Not purge, it festers.
Yeah, it could. He goes, it could force its way out, or your body could just say, oh, well, this is here now. Oh, well. But
That's what my body did.
I
have a foreign object in my palm.
You do?
I do.
Is it a bullet?
No, it's not a bullet. It could be, though.
What is
It's
it?
made of, I don't know if it's made
metal?
of lead. No. So when we were
Lead poisoning.
When we were little.
This explains everything.
When we were children and primaries. What the fuck do you call it?
Elementary school.
Thank you. We had different kinds of pencils than they make now. Now that, kids don't have
Oh,
lead,
yes.
right? So somehow, some way, I poked a hole in my palm and the tip of the pencil broke off.
I
and it was
remember
so
that.
deep. Well, it just healed over it, and now I just have a little piece of lead that's in, and I can see it. And I have dug for it.
I was going to say, have you ever?
Hell yes, I've dug for it when I got older, but it's so deep now, and it's just I would literally have to cut my hand open.
I am not kidding you. We get this from our father because he's all about digging in his body. He doesn't give a shit.
I know.
I want this thing to just fester a little longer, and then I want to just
yank it out.
I just want to do surgery and get it out. I know I'll be sorry.
But it's such a sensitive
because
area.
it's probably really, really deep.
Oh, for sure.
Because
it's been a while.
And it's been about a month.
Yeah.
And I told him, I said, based on where it's protruding, which is in the soft part of the pinky in the back, I said, just to reiterate, this came in under my nail. He goes, oh, yes, I can tell. And I'm like, oh, all right. I was just making sure I wasn't making myself perfectly clear.
He can see the entrance and the exit wound.
He's like, I got it. And I'm like, yeah. All right. Anyway, so he's retiring. He goes, I can't really give you any references because all of my colleagues are my age. I was like, I got
either
you.
dead or retired, so good luck.
And then he goes, there's a Dr. Malloy. I'm like, an Irish doctor? I don't think so. I was just kidding.
Did you say that to him?
Yes.
What did he say?
He laughed. He thought it was funny as hell. But anyway, I'm like, so now I'm on the hunt for a new doctor. But anyway, I said, well,
I have a great one. I don't know if he's
so the last. Well, I do need a gyno, but
oh no, my primary is.
Oh, the primary is good too.
He's great. He's young.
Is he cute?
Not young?
Wait, is he attractive?
He's not ugly, but he's much smaller than I remembered because he ended up being one of the hospitalists the week of Thanksgiving when my husband was in the hospital.
Oh yes,
yeah. And so when I saw him in his full cloak and dagger, he had his doctor's coat on, and I'm like, you're kind of a small man. I didn't really notice that before.
Did you say that to him?
No.
Oh well, I mean, I might have said.
And
something
he may be Irish.
What's his?
His last name is Allwinger. Auwinger.
Yeah. A Jew?
Nah, maybe. Yeah. I don't know.
Hey, get a load of it. My first Jew.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I don't know.
But anyway.
Yeah, but so anyway, he goes, well, the very last thing I have to do before I say goodbye. And I go, what? He goes, well, we have to give you a rectal exam. And I'm like,
was he joking?
Nope. What? He did a rectal. And the nurse comes in to make sure no funny business happens.
Who's going to, yeah, right, though. Okay.
And he goes, please try not to clinch. Cause I'm like,
oh, I can't.
He goes, please just think.
It's a muscle.
He goes, imagine you're at the ocean. I'm like, all right.
I mean, they're supposed to be quick. When my gyno does it, it is like a flash.
Yeah. Cause they just want to feel the back of your fallopian.
Whatever it is they're feeling.
Yeah.
They're
just feeling the back of your insides. And he goes,
the part that can't reach from the front.
Everything's nice and smooth. He goes, they do a quick, like, make sure there's no weird cells in there on a slide or whatever. I don't know why I'm giving away the play-by-play. But anyway, so he comes in, he goes, okay, everything's great. And I go, well, it's been great knowing ya. And I go, I know he goes, well, I'm going to be at the hospital because he's actually just closing his practice. And I go, well, I hope I never see you again. He goes, well, me too, to be fair.
Yeah.
But I said, maybe we'll see each other at the grocery store.
You never know.
And he's like, sure. The last time we saw each other at the grocery store.
Oh, you did see him at the grocery store.
Years ago. And it was like days after our appointment. And he ran into Daryl. And Daryl had like ice cream and cookies and steak and all the shit they tell you not to eat.
And he's like, this is the guy that's telling him he gained 6 ounces.
Yes. And he looks and he goes, well, Daryl, he's like, I think maybe perhaps this is not the healthiest options. He goes, it's Friday. Like that means anything, and of course he's got like, chia seeds and
bean sprouts,
kiwi. And
I know, right?
A banana, like, okay.
Soy wrap.
Okay.
Tofu. And I don't mean that because he's Asian.
No,
those are just
because he's a doctor. And they
those foods are like, if you can think of something that's as bland as possible, but that's good for you and healthy and doesn't have calories. Yes,
superfoods, blueberries on a day where you really want to go crazy.
I know, right? With a drizzle of agave. We're not even allowed to eat honey anymore.
I know, it's bad for the bees. We're stealing from them.
Is that why?
I don't know, Stephanie.
I thought it was more sugary.
Apparently the humans are the parasites.
We are.
So whatever.
Like, why are we on this earth?
Apparently we have no business. We have no business being here. Just give it to the bears.
I know. I was watching
Give it to the squirrels.
You know, these
let the sharks do their thing.
These debates, people are taking like clips of debates and posting them on TikTok. And so these two people were debating. It was that English journalist. I can't think of his name.
Piers Morgan.
Yes,
he's horrible.
He is horrible. But I never watch him.
I only know him from clips.
Right,
to be fair.
And he's having an argument or a debate with the vegan.
Oh
chick.
God!
And he's like, why can't I just eat my meat and like go on with my life, and then you can eat your vegetables or whatever and go on with yours, and we just agree that, you know, we both have our own way of living. And she's like, because you're destroying the planet, you know, by eating your meat. And she's going on and on. He's like, well, where do you think he goes, how do you think you get your truckloads full of avocados?
Yeah.
They come on airplanes. They come on trucks. He's like, they pollute the earth. So you're polluting the earth.
Everybody's polluting the earth just by existing.
He's like, according to you, he's like, we should just not exist. We shouldn't eat. We don't have the right to eat because we're destroying the planet.
Everything destroys the planet. So just pick your poison and move on with your life.
Right?
I love that people have the time to be this furious over someone eating meat. I don't give zero fucks.
Right.
Or have the time to chastise someone who chooses not to eat. I mean, God, you have the time to be this tedious?
I'm telling you.
Shut up.
I know.
I wish
and
people,
who cares?
Why can't people like us be the mediators for these types of things? So be like, you shut up, because you shut up more.
Logical people have tried and failed. People
right.
don't want to see fairness and impartiality. They want you to pick a side.
You would think that eventually people would be pleading for it.
They will. They have filleted people who have tried to be impartial.
I know.
It's terrible.
I know.
I'm like,
it's
God,
true.
you can't win for losing.
Reasonable people are very unpopular.
Yes.
It's true. Look at Jimmy Carter.
I know, right?
He's the worst president we've ever had. And now he's like this humanitarian of the earth.
I know, right?
He's like Mr. Rogers incarnate. He's a terrible president.
Me and my friend at work, we have to talk, you know, we only talk about it privately, how, you know, we have a preference with political parties we lean towards, but that we prefer to vote based on the issue, not necessarily the party line. Like,
absolutely.
Oh, this is Democratic.
That's
issue.
how I vote.
Right. And so, but you can't even say that out loud.
Oh God. One time I said, I'm actually a registered independent.
Yes.
I'm not a party affiliate.
I am too now, by the way.
I'm not affiliated with any party because they're both a little too extreme for my taste. Right. But I vote by issue, which means whoever is as close to what I agree with, that's where I'm going.
Right.
And, you know, that's it. That's all I have to say.
The best you can do.
Yeah. And I declared this once at a dinner, and I said, I don't think there should be political parties.
You should just be able to vote based on your issues.
It should just be, you vote based on the issue, there shouldn't be any political.
Yeah.
Why are there teams? I don't understand. It doesn't do anybody.
It was
any
supposed
good.
to be so we'd be impartial, so we'd have a balance, right?
Well, yin and yang is very important to me.
Yeah, but I mean, I think you can still
think
have
it would just
that.
kind of come out in the wash, like it would just happen.
Yes, because human beings have our own brains and we think our own ways, and I know it's dumb.
Captain Lee's retiring from the show.
Did you read that officially?
Yeah, I posted about it. I thought for sure you would have known about this and you would give me the tea.
No, well, he hasn't said I haven't read publicly that he said he was retiring.
Well, from the show.
So on the show.
He's leaving the show.
So the episode that just aired.
Below Deck, I don't even know what season we're in now.
We are in, I want to say season 10.
Okay, so Below Deck season 10. Now, I will be honest. I watched half of a season this year because I got really sick, and so I kind of binged like some episodes. I found it fairly entertaining, but nobody that you really love was on.
If it was one of the newer seasons,
it was.
Then no. And there are spinoffs of the show too, so there's many.
This one had a female captain.
That is Below Deck Mediterranean.
That's the one I saw. Okay, and I didn't hate it.
I don't love it,
but it's not.
I watch it. It's just not my favorite. Below Deck, the original is really the only
That's
one
the
that
good
I'm
one.
totally dedicated to. Yes. I
So-
will watch some of the other ones when there's not a season on. But
I don't know why, but it just said, I feel like I've let you down. I'm stepping away
so
from
that
the show.
was the trailer for the
What does
episode
that
for
mean?
last week's. He's stepping away from the boat.
Oh.
So Captain Lee had back
he ill?
surgery. No. Prior to filming, and his doctor was fairly confident that he would be fine to film and do his job. He wasn't. So he struggled
Okay.
physically. He was experiencing, being on a boat is not the best place to be in recovering from major back surgery.
Well, you're on your feet the whole time.
Yeah, and it's like small spaces and the little galleys and all that stuff.
Yes.
So he wasn't doing well. And on the last episode, he said that he couldn't continue filming.
Aww.
And so we know, and I had heard rumors about this already because when they were filming, they film these shows almost a year in advance.
Of course. Yes, as we have learned with Sister Wives.
Yeah. So a lot of, some stuff gets leaked, whether they like it or not. And there had been some leaks that Captain was leaving mid-season.
That sucks. So it's mostly health reasons.
But Kate Chastain is pregnant.
Do we know who the baby daddy is?
No.
Okay.
It would not surprise me if it was either not a boyfriend or she did like a surrogate, not a surrogate.
How old is she?
She's 38.
Oh, so she was like, I want a baby.
She's been wanting one.
So she either did the IVF or she found somebody.
Or she's with someone and she's been very, very quiet about it.
Or she's doing that heart song.
What?
All I want to do is make...
I just need a sperm.
Dude, I have been on a heart kick for like 2 days straight. I don't know why, but I've been listening to all of the heart classics, the hits. And so I was looking I use the iHeart app for my music. And so I was looking at all their albums. I'm like, I literally owned every single Heart album. I
Same.
didn't realize.
Dad loved Heart.
I do too. And so then I'm like, I remember Brigade. And so I started listening
That's
to it.
literally one of my favorite albums.
So I put alongside.
I know, huh?
Well, the thing is you kind of have to sing silly because no one sings like Ann Wilson.
That's like people who attempt to sing Mariah Carey songs. I'm like, don't do it.
Stephanie.
Have you been watching like the clips on TikTok of like the worst America's Got Talent
No.
or the worst American Idol assignment? Oh God, they're funny.
Oh my God, send me one.
I didn't send you one because I'm like, she's probably already seen all these. Me and you send each other literally the same fucking TikToks.
know. Oh, the legless people?
Well, no. Jamie, damn it.
What?
No, I did it to you last week.
You sent me one today and I laughed so hard. You're like, this is how I get dressed every day. And I have magnets on my shirt so they don't fall off. And I was like, oh my God. Brilliant. How do you do this? And why is your bathroom for a normal person and you're literally sitting on the floor? Like, why don't you have like a lowered thing so that you can
Does anybody even know what we're talking about? Probably not.
No, but it's like if you have nothing from the dick down.
Sorry.
Why isn't your house renovated so that you can just be sitting on the floor and there's a sink like 4 inches above? Like,
in case people are wondering, Jamie and I and our sisters have had a thing about amputees or people without limbs since birth. I don't know why.
I don't know.
We never knew anyone who who had missing limbs or anything. I don't know why.
I don't remember.
But as children, we played them.
First of all kinds of maladies. Let's be fair. We used to pretend we were deaf in public.
It's true. And blind.
And blind.
Are we the only ones?
I don't
Is this
know.
weird?
Yes.
But I so vividly remember doing it. And why did Mom not stop us?
Because she was
in the grocery store.
Honestly, she was.
And Allison would be playing blind.
I think she was just exhausted. She's like, my husband's an asshole, and I have 4 of these horrible children. Let them do what they will.
They're walking around with sticks, pretending they can't see, and I think people would look at us like, oh, look at the poor blind child.
A falsetto child? Is that a falsetto child? Roy? Oh God. So I remember one time, it was one of the last times I did it, where I pretended that I was disabled at home.
We pretended, oh my God.
I used to pretend I didn't have a neck. And Dad caught me.
We used to do, okay, you're not allowed to say this word anymore, but we used to play retarded, remember? We'd be like,
why did we do that?
I don't know.
Is it our way of assimilating?
But Dad caught you pretending you had no neck?
Yes, and I remember.
Oh, he must have loved it.
Documentaries.
Dad is sick.
Documentaries were kind of newish.
Okay.
And so I had watched something about a person who had some kind of malady and they were functioning in society of their own way. And back in the early 80s, like there wasn't a whole lot of
No, this was new. Like, we didn't talk about it.
Not only that, but society gave zero fucks. If you had some kind of disability, figure it out. Because no one's helping you.
Back in those days, those were like the families had like the son or daughter that you never saw. They was like in a closet. Or
exactly.
Like you didn't take them out in public.
No, they got
half of your friends didn't even know you had a third child.
Exactly. So now they're starting to do these documentaries. And so it was one where this guy had something wrong with him. I think he didn't have a neck. And I used like a broom handle and I put it like under my arms and then like went down. So like my arms were hanging down like a scarecrow. And I'm like, well, I don't, I can't even do it without laughing. Well, without a neck, it's been really hard, but I've been making my way.
And you're alone too, right?
Thinking I'm
like,
alone.
We didn't even have to have an audience to do these things.
No, and I thought I was alone, and I was just talking about how I try to get through my day disabled, and Dad was quote unquote sleeping on the couch, and he
watching you.
Everything. And so later, like 10 minutes later, he came in
and he started doing it, right?
He started doing it. Oh my God. He was probably
Dad
dying.
Was so diabolical too.
I know, but I mean, if I saw my child behaving that way, I would laugh. I'd be like, what are you doing?
Our father made fun of anything and everyone.
He did.
Literally. So
yes, it's true.
When we were doing it, it was innocent. We weren't doing it to be mean or like making fun of.
No.
I don't know why we did it. Curiosity.
I think it was just our way of kind of accepting that there are others who did not function normally.
And trying to imagine what that was like.
Yes.
Yeah.
A weird empathy.
Yeah. But Dad, was not that way.
No, he loved to harass.
He liked to hurt people's feelings and say mean things.
Although I never saw, you know what? He did have a soft spot for children specifically who had any kind of difficulty and Down syndrome, MS, cerebral palsy. Anything. Like it killed his heart to see that. He hated it.
I know.
And it kills me too. I can't.
Same. I can't.
It's very difficult.
I can't watch St. Jude.
But anyway, oh God.
I can't.
Seriously.
Sure, he can't either. He's
change it.
Yeah.
I don't want to watch.
He watches, he's like, oh my God, can you even imagine?
No.
I'm like, no, and I don't want to. No.
That's why I always tell you that. I'm like, I'm so glad I was born with functioning legs because I can't imagine what it must be like. Even when I go to a hotel and I end up getting the room that has its access, has the special access for like wheeling into a shower or whatever. I'm just like, I'm so glad I don't need this. And I'm only doing this because I hate small rooms.
Well, sometimes it's all you can get too. Like for me, if there's just... Well,
I like how they're nice and big, though.
The suite that I like in San Francisco, there's only 3 of them. So if that's the only one available, I'm like, take it.
Yeah, I mean,
I can't have a regular 2 doubles. Are you joking?
What is this?
Who sleeps in those? They're like for midgets. Oh, you're not allowed to say midgets.
You can't say little people.
Little people. I don't
know. You know what? I always say it wrong, and someone always corrects me because, Mom, we don't say it like that. And I'm like, well, how do we say it? I don't even know anymore.
I can't speak anymore because everything I say is wrong. I don't know.
Now I just say whatever I want.
Yeah.
I don't care. I'm like, I'm not going to say anything derogatory or racist.
Try not to, yeah. No, I'm not. No, but like I said wife beater once in public. And
apparently that's inappropriate.
I didn't know.
But that's what they are.
But to me, I was just saying white tank top.
The
like
white
I wasn't meaning anything by it, but
that's. I mean, I knew exactly what you meant.
It's because I'm old, apparently, and I don't know that everything's changed.
Okay, so remember how I posted that social media post where I said, I guess I'm the only human who hasn't watched The White Lotus Part 2,
and I had no idea what White Lotus was.
Apparently, I was wrong. Everybody hasn't watched it, and so
who was watching it that you thought you were the only one that?
Because my entire everything on social media, from TikTok to Twitter to Instagram to Facebook, was saying The White Lotus Part 2.
Oh, okay.
Or season 2, oh my God.
Well, this must be the thing right now.
Right. And I thought I was the only one that hadn't watched it. Excuse me. We're drinking champagne. I keep burping. God.
I know.
Sorry.
Champagne will do that to you.
I do like it though.
It's good.
And so, and then it's got like 50 likes and they're like, no, I don't even know what you're talking about. And I'm like, okay.
All right.
Sorry. I was being sarcastic. I didn't realize we were going to take this seriously, but I forgot this is Facebook. So everybody takes everything.
And everybody's
seriously.
In their 50s.
Jesus fucking Christ, Stephanie.
It's true.
Mean,
I hate it. Like, yeah. I mean, I want to tell my friends, generally speaking, like, look, if you're the same age as me, whatever you're thinking about posting, don't. No one cares that you're in the hospital. Oh my God. No one cares.
Unless you're going to tell us all the tea.
Yeah. Well,
don't.
And unless you're dying and you're terminal, I don't want to hear about how your foot's infected.
Again.
Round 2, we're in the emergency room. I'm admitted.
It was like a month ago.
People use it like they're on a radio, like 10-4, good buddy. I just wanted to let y'all know I'm in the hospital. Had another great night. My husband's coming in. We'll fill y'all in tomorrow. And everyone's like, we don't care.
Bringing me some Dunkin' Donuts.
God.
Yeah, I know. But I think what happened was when COVID happened, everybody's like, I'm in the hospital with COVID. Wish me luck. You know, I don't know. I didn't. I only had a couple of people who actually ended up in the hospital. But anyway, I digress. So I did finally watch the first episode of The White Lotus.
Oh, okay.
And it's good, just as I expected. Lots of great movies, stars or whatever. But there's a scene where there's 3 generations of men sitting around a dinner table. It's the dad, the son, and then the son's son. So it's grandchild, child, grandfather, basically.
Got
3
it.
generations. And it's they're Italian. And so the old man, who's 80, he keeps flirting with all the women.
Ugh.
Like horribly, like obnoxiously flirting constantly. And his son goes, Dad, stop flirting with everybody. It's just, I want her to take our order. It'd be nice.
Right?
Can we just get our cocktail, for God's sake? Let the woman take our order. And then she leaves and he goes, do you really think you have a chance with these women? I mean, they're like 40 years younger than you. He goes, flirtation is one of the joys of life. It has nothing to do with getting anybody.
That's true.
I just like to flirt. And I guess when you're 80, you can do whatever you want. No one gives a shit.
True. Yeah.
And so then the son goes, Grandpa, do you still, can you? He goes, what? Get hard? Yes. And he holds his fist. He goes like this. And he holds up his fist. And then he goes, I just don't think that women should be exposed to men's genitals after a certain age. Like, I mean, from 50 and on, women should not have to see your old man dicks.
Ooh.
And then his dad goes, 50's not old. I turned to Daryl and I'm like, dude, are we being oblivious?
Yeah. Well, I'm not oblivious, but it's true.
I'm like, I know we're not young anymore, but I'm like, the examples of old that we had, they didn't exercise, no skincare regime.
I know, right?
They don't eat right. They smoked and drank like crazy. They were dead by 60. I mean, they looked so old. And then I'm like, we don't look like that.
No, I don't think
things
we do.
have changed, but we also live longer.
That's true.
So I
think it's relative, though. I think I remember when I was in my early 20s, I thought being 35 was ancient.
Well, I did too.
And now I'm like, oh, what I wouldn't give to be 35.
Honestly, if I knew what I knew now and then just be like 40, I'm good. I'd be great.
Too. Yeah.
I'm going to burp again.
Stop.
Sorry. Stop it.
Do the Sprite challenge with champagne.
Oh my God, that would be so fun.
Wouldn't it be funny?
Yes, I'd love it.
Be drunk and burping.
So anyway, Sister Wives has come to an end. They're doing the tell-alls this weekend, which I haven't
because that's
watched.
really all I want to watch.
Dude,
now that he's literally divorced, quote unquote,
they're
from all of them.
gone. Janelle is quote unquote separated, and I think she's just saying she's separated for either a storyline or she wants to get her. She wants to get her lot.
Yeah. Oh,
she wants her lot.
She's definitely doing planning.
She needs money. Yeah, and she's like, I need to set myself up. She's got an agent. She has changed her Instagram.
I wonder if Robin and Cody will take on new wives.
That's the big question. Everybody's wondering.
Because she's, constantly talking about how she wants to live polygamy.
She's always, she acts like she wants to live polygamy.
But I don't know if she does because she's fairly successfully made sure that he's only with her.
Well, this is what I think. This is my take on this whole thing, first of all. I find it hilarious that Mary was not aware of all the shit that Cody was saying about her until the tell-all. And she's looking at all the video and she goes, well, that's not how he acted when we were alone.
Yeah.
And I'm like, none of that surprises me. Cody's a fucking liar.
Yeah, he is.
So, I mean, no, he probably was leading her on. And that's why she looked like such a fool to us.
I know, right?
Because I would be so furious.
I
would be so angry. But I'm like, why
she'd be angry if she this woman has no self-esteem whatsoever.
I would tell my closest trusted friend that wasn't involved with my family, I'm like, I need you to watch every minute of this show, and I need you to tell me what I need to know that he's saying, because we have an arrangement for the show. Like, I was reading something about the tell-all and how they were saying why they're so mad at Christine for divorcing him and yet could give two shits about Mary.
Well, because he's been treating Mary like the backyard dog for 10 years.
But they're talking so much shit about her. And Mary's like, now I'm confused because she's seeing all this footage and she's like, this is like the same shit he used to say about me with Christine. And yet he's so mad that she left. Why does he give two shits whether I'm here or not? I don't get it, But what I concluded personally is this. I think they're pissed at Christine for leaving. Period.
Publicly.
I don't think that there's an issue with her leaving the marriage, but I think the reason that Robin specifically was so furious along with Cody is I think they had a powwow like, look, we need the money. We need the income. We all need the income. And so let's just keep it quiet. And then when we're not filming, if you want to leave, do whatever you want, fine. But we need to continue filming and we need to make storylines or whatever. And when she went on and she said, he doesn't want to fuck me anymore. I'm out. I'm selling my house. I sold my house. I'm moving to Utah. Done and
Bye.
done.
I don't care about the show.
And Cody's just like, excuse me? I have $1 million mansion with my favorite wife that I'm screwing.
Yeah.
Like, how am I supposed to pay for this?
Yeah.
And Mary's
not my problem.
And Mary said, we'd had a phone call where he said, we're not married anymore. And she's like, yeah, I think I should just go. And he goes, let's not make this public. Let's just keep it to ourselves. And I'd rather not it come out public. And so she feels screwed. She's like, so Christine just said, fuck you, Cody. I'm going to do whatever I want. And Mary towed the party line. And now she looks like an idiot.
And he's talking shit on the show, filming constantly about her, saying, I don't give a shit about. She's like, wait a minute. What about this deal we had that I'm the only one that's freaking abiding by?
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree.
And as far as Robin goes, the way I look at Robin is this. She thinks this is polygamy. And so because her mom, who's been rooted in polygamy since birth, has taught her how to keep her man and to become the favored wife, that's all she's doing. She's playing the cult game.
Yeah.
And so for her, she's like, I don't know why everybody's pissed at me. I'm doing what we all should have been doing.
Right.
And so she looks like this bad guy when we're all supposed to be worshiping the husband. That's how we get everything. We get kids and food and a place to live. I have heard about polygamy families where there's one wife like Robin and there's a wife like Janelle literally dumpster diving for food.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
It's that's
why they have that I don't know, I can't remember what they call it, but basically where they hoard food and so that if there's a apocalypse,
like almost like a survivalist mentality.
Yes.
Yeah, and so to me it's like this is what Cody's doing. They are still living polygamy. We just can't believe what we're seeing.
Right, maybe so.
But this is what happens. And that's why I'm like, look, do you all, but these women have been exposed to the world now.
Yeah.
And they are no longer going to be treated like this.
Well, he's
lost his goddamn
everybody
mind.
Hates him. I mean, everybody who watches that show hates him.
It's because
he's just so disgusting and awful.
It's just he's treating these women so poorly and he's speaking so poorly about them and saying things that are lies.
Well, and it's so
trying to rewrite history.
Yeah, it's like so contradictory if you believe in marriage, and to have a wife, whether it's traditional marriage or polygamy or whatever your situation is.
Sure.
When you think of a marriage, that's somebody that you love and protect, right? And he literally treats them like garbage.
He just treats them like
commodities.
He treats them like whores.
Yes.
Make my money. Give me my money. Where's my money, bitch?
Yeah.
And if you're not going to produce anymore, get out.
And I guess he's just been disgusted by Christine physically forever.
I can't even believe it.
He's saying I never was attracted to her.
He said he was disgusted by the way she ate nachos.
I know.
I'm like, what are you doing?
He obviously has some resentment issues over that relationship.
So many. And, people are like, well, I've heard that she threw temper tantrum. I'm like, she probably did. She was 18 when she got married.
Right.
She was a child.
Yeah.
A child with six Stephanie.
I mean, I can't.
Well,
we've gotten our money's worth out of that show.
We certainly have.
They have milked it to death. I don't know there's much left.
There's 2 more seasons, and I'm curious to see what they'll look like. Well, because next season... I can't
even get through this season.
Stephanie, I don't even watch it anymore.
I mean, I have them all DVR'd, but...
I don't watch them. I don't give a shit. You know why? Because... And speaking of, it's too much reminiscent of our father. I can't watch it. Ugh. It's so... I mean, he's an extreme version.
Yeah.
Because our dad... didn't talk shit like that. He was a little more physical.
Yeah.
But Same theory.
Same
wanted to be
general.
worshipped. Wanted a bunch of people to put him on as number one.
Make him look good.
Don't question anything. You'll do as I say, not as I do. I heard that a million times, and this is what Cody is. But the thing is watching Cody fall apart, I am suspicious of drug or alcohol. I don't know what that is.
Baby.
That ain't normal behavior. I would almost go methy if you didn't have such clear skin.
Yeah, no kidding.
I don't know, but I think next season will be McKelty having her baby.
Well, they're going to focus more on the kids. Yeah, I mean, and that's
All that
boring
stuff.
to me because
I don't want to deal with the children.
their children are not that entertaining.
No.
They're all unattractive.
Well, and they're just like, well, this is my
they're
life.
normal
Yeah,
and they're
just normal
podunk
people.
and they're just, like I said, they're not interesting.
Not the same. Not at
That's
all.
all.
That's why we watch it, because we want to see Cody fall apart and we want to see Robin pretend to cry
Right.
over and over again.
Yeah, she's absurd.
Anyway, so that's the reality tea. I don't know. I have not watched a full episode in probably a season and a half.
I did watch the first 3 episodes of the current season when I was home with COVID.
I fast forward so much of it. I
fast forwarded it too, but I watched them because it'd been so long. I'm like, do I even know what's going on? Like, do I have any idea? And I didn't. There was a lot I didn't know because it'd been so long since I'd watched. So but that was enough. Like, what's happened since then? I feel like can see snippets and trailers, and it's enough.
Honestly, they're just stretching it. That's why the tell-alls are really interesting. Okay, let's see. Anything else that I wanted to talk about? We talked about Captain Lee. Kirstie Alley died.
I know, that was so sad.
It's sad because it was so fast.
Well, she didn't tell anyone, which I
didn't.
understand, but she was funny. I really liked her when she was
did
working.
too. I mean, aside from her insane beliefs, which did affect a lot of things. People are saying it affected her health care. I don't know, nor do I care. But
she died of colon cancer.
She did, but I mean, there's been some discussion. Apparently, in Scientology, if you get to the highest levels, which Kirstie Alley was, they tell you that you are immune to all disease. Yeah. And so whether she believed it or not, and then somebody who was in the know said, the thing with Scientologists is when they are at the highest level and they do get something like cancer, they're like, oh, well, I'm not going to die from it. Yeah, it'll be fine. And then what happens is when they say you're dying, they usually completely, what's the word? They
scramble to do.
They just completely dump their belief system and say, "Give me chemo, give me surgery, whatever," and then it's always too late.
It's too late.
Same thing happened to John Travolta's wife.
She had breast cancer.
Yes, she did for a very long time.
See, I thought she only had it for 2 years.
That's a long time with no treatment.
No, I agree. I didn't know she wasn't treating.
At the end, she did.
Oh, okay.
Same thing. They're just like, you know what? Fuck Scientology. Give me chemo now.
I don't want to die. I'm 45. Yeah.
And Kirstie Alley was 70.
She wasn't old.
That's not old.
No. That's
especially if it was super treatable.
I mean, look at freaking Jane Fonda, who's going to be what, 84?
She has leukemia.
She but she's in remission.
Yes, she is, because
So for even her
science,
for a woman her age, early
awesome.
detection and treatment, and she is not going to die of cancer right now.
I love Jane Fonda, by the way.
I do too.
Really quick, and then I don't have any awkward moments. You've been ill. I haven't done anything.
I've been ill, so that's been awkward. Going to work, being ill is like, now it's a thing. You're not allowed to go to work ill. Everybody looks at you like you asshole.
Yeah, you're like, well,
I'm like, look,
rent.
I have to work.
I have bills.
I did the best I could to not work as much, but I still had to work. And
of course,
nobody welcomes you with open arms when you're sick.
I'm sure I had an awkward moment in Disneyland. I can't recall. I have no concept.
I was reading, speaking of...
Oh, I did have an awkward moment, actually.
Okay, go.
Hold on. I did have one, actually. I didn't think it was awkward. But Steph, Mackenzie, and Daryl said it was awkward. So I have to share it with you really quick. We were at Disneyland. And this kind of really flows with what we've been talking about. We were walking to Star Wars Land. And to get to Star Wars Land, you have to pass like Splash Mountain, Pooh Corner, that area over there. If you don't know, whatever, it doesn't matter. So we're walking, and there's something around there. There's some facility where they're washing towels or something. Oh, because this one walkway, I'm like, God, it smells like laundry's being done. It smells kind of good. I go, hey, it smells like Downy, and I'm like, it's like someone's doing laundry, and it smelled kind of good. Mm-hmm. And Kenzie goes, Mom, you really need to watch your surroundings when you say things. And I go, why? Was there like someone doing laundry, or what are you talking about? She goes, you literally said that with a family walking by with a Down syndrome child.
Oh, God.
And I went, I didn't say it smelled like Downs.
It smells like Down syndrome.
And I said Downy. But she was like mortified. I'm like, Kenzie. And she goes, well, then you, luckily you followed it up with laundry. And I'm like, well, what else would, I don't make fun of people.
Well,
what
she was thinking, oh, because people are weird. That's why.
Well, and so I'm like, oh, shut up. No one even said
like, that's what she meant. She was just pretending she didn't mean that.
No one's did his side eye on that. And so Daryl's like, what's going on? And so she told him, he goes, oh
my God.
And I'm like, what?
Oh
what?
My God.
You guys are insane. Shut up. And then of course I can make it worse, but it's not like I said I don't like Down syndrome people.
Yes,
really
just
loud.
shut up.
And they're like, okay, stop.
I'm like, don't make it any worse.
This is your fault that I'm doing this. This is
because
your
if you
fault.
never said anything, I wouldn't even know.
I wouldn't have known. I didn't realize I can't say Downy at Disneyland. That was funny.
Just your luck.
Stupid.
It's funny.
So lame.
I was watching, well, of course, TikTok, and
of course they're gonna ban it. So get it while you can.
I know, right? So
I'm trying to get into Reels. Oh, it's so hard.
I haven't started yet.
Instagram Reels is so arduous.
It's not the same.
And it's all every other reel is you can do a reel with just photos, and I'm like, where's the falling? Where's the funny?
Yeah,
this is dumb.
I know. All right,
get it together, Reels, or I'm just gonna continue pirating TikTok.
We should think of something like TikToks to make, so that way we can be rich.
God, no kidding.
But yeah, so I don't know how I ended up on getting like movie clips, like nostalgic movie clips and show clips and stuff like that. So some of it's funny. I like seeing the Seinfeld ones where they do snippets of hilarious
those are
episodes.
really good.
Yeah. But I somehow got a couple for Sex and the City, and I watched them. I don't know why. There's something.
I watched them too.
There's something intriguing about somebody using their phone to film the scene on their TV and then show it on TikTok. I'm like, why am I watching this? I could literally watch the whole episode if I wanted to.
Yeah.
But the comments are great.
I love it.
And it's like, I'm so glad that everybody else hates Carrie now.
She's terrible.
And they all say the same thing. They're like, I loved this show. I still love this show, but I hate her more and more.
She's a self-centered bitch.
Yes, and so now all these
she doesn't care about her friends
or
anyone.
So now all these clips that my algorithm is my algorithm.
You said it right.
They're all like horrible scenes that make her look like a total see you next Tuesday.
Oh, it's wonderful.
And it's very satisfying.
It's so satisfying.
Because I'm like, yes,
I love it.
Well, I hate this bitch.
There is. I was going to actually. Okay.
Let's
rewind this. Start again, shall we? Actually ask you about this. A couple of things. The first one is, as you said, there's this trend of saying, what movie lines do you use in your daily life? We use a ton.
Me too.
Do you guys also?
Oh God. Well, I do.
Well, like what?
Well, you know what? Jerry does it too. I can't. I have to give him some credit.
I'm curious. Give me a couple, and I'll give you a couple of mine. And they're random too. They're so
Mine
weird.
are very random, and sometimes they don't even have to have anything to do with what I'm saying or doing at the moment. They just may pop in my head, and I'll say it out loud.
Yes,
and it's funny.
Like what was one you just did?
A dead person breathed on me. She breathed on me.
What's that one?
You can't put her on top of that car, Clark. Oh yes, he can. When Aunt Edna died.
Aunt Edna, I love that
Vacation.
movie. Yeah, that's a good one.
She's got 11 cents, Dad. Rusty, have you been going through Audrey's personal property?
Yeah.
I could go on forever.
Not just
vacation, but.
Oh, yeah. One of the ones, I quote Overboard quite a bit in my life, my everyday life. And I did post one about caviar should be hard and round and burst in your mouth at the right moment.
The right moment.
I definitely say that regularly for everything.
Yes.
A falsetto child. I say that quite a bit. If we go to a place, it can be any place. It can be a store, a hotel, a restaurant. We'll walk in, and if it's not exactly what we expected and we're a bit disappointed, we walk in and I go, we moved here deliberately? Did I just step down?
I'm not going back in the water barrel.
I'm like, I'm not a bitch. You are. But the one we say a lot, though, is if you have a baby, you can't be the baby anymore.
True.
Maybe I'm just menstrual.
You must stay in bed for at least 2 days.
Yeah, we say shit like that all the time.
Well, and Jerry and I do too. So we have our own movies that we watch endlessly. So he'll quote those. Like currently, we are watching for the 100,000th time Roadhouse with Patrick Swayze.
I love Roadhouse.
Now, I was about to say. So he's like, "You watch out for me and each other. Take out the trash. 1, 2, 3, 4." So yes, I can literally. Jeff Healey is in that movie.
He's dead.
Great. He is dead.
That's sad.
He died of eye cancer.
That's ironic.
Well, he was not born blind, so
why didn't he just rip the eyes out and call it a day?
well, so he was not born blind, but he got very rare eye cancer when he was like 2.
Yes.
And that took his sight.
Okay.
So he was blind.
And it came back?
Yes. He ultimately died from it when
I would have
in his
been like,
30s.
hey, can you suck these out, man? I don't need them.
Yeah.
I'm
don't
blind.
know. I don't know. Yeah.
You know what? We know so much more now.
He's
than
been
we
dead
did.
for a long time. Yeah. He died in the 90s. So you're right. It's hard to say.
Nowadays, like there's a girl on TikTok who has a bejeweled fake eye. And you know what was funny is I told Daryl this years ago. I said, would you still love me if I had no eyes?
Do we all do this?
And yes. And he go, well, because we just really want to know the depths of the love. Like how far will you go?
You can say whatever you want as long as you still have your eyes. But when your eyes are actually gone and you have sunken in slits, will he stay?
Well, that's what I said. I go, would I have to get like fake balls, or would you actually be okay with them being sewn shut like
and
a
you
horror
wouldn't
film?
know if he was giving you dirty looks,
like a horror film.
looking
And
at
he's
other
like,
girls.
he's like, I would love you if you didn't have eyes. I go, but you would want me to have like the balls in there, so I didn't have weird sunken in doll eyes, right? He goes, well, maybe. And I said, that's what I thought. And I said, well, then I would want bejeweled eyes.
Yeah.
There's a girl on TikTok with a bejeweled eye, and it's amazing.
Fantastic.
I love it.
Thank
and I'm
God.
like, God damn it. I'm glad that there's somebody else who thinks like that.
Right.
Because I thought
I
I would.
agree.
I thought it would be one of those things where it would like I'd have to have it custom made.
Oh, maybe.
But I mean,
Etsy.
I actually think that her father had that custom made for her, which I think is adorable. It's so sweet.
I wonder if you can buy bejeweled eyes on Etsy, and if you can't, we should make them.
Oh, that's such a good idea.
Could be a way to get rich.
You can do all kinds of colors. You can do seasonal,
custom, seasonal. Yes.
Wedding,
Christmas,
Halloween,
oh my God,
Valentine's Day.
endless,
forever
endless possibilities.
This is my honeymoon eye. It'd be great. I love it. No, did we ever talk about our rules for if you and I got trapped on a mountain from an airplane crash?
Oh yes.
Did we talk about it on the show? though?
Yes, because we were
did?
talking about cannibalism.
I feel like we talked about that by ourselves, and we didn't
maybe we
mention it.
did, but no, I'm pretty sure we were sitting here
I don't
having that
know.
discussion.
Well, if we did
about-
talk it on the show, that's another top conversation for me. I
Yeah.
thought that was great how we have rules.
well, you have to.
How we're going to eat each other.
I mean, I'm not going to eat your cheek and while you're looking at me.
First of all, here's what I've surmised. I know that we had to come up with the rules about how we would figure it out, how we would eat each other,
face
to survive,
down,
all the things.
ass and thigh first.
But then I really started to think about it, Stephanie.
There's no organs in those parts of your body.
Here's the reality. You and I would become serial killers. You and I would kill people.
We would. Well, yeah.
You know we would. We would have
Because you're
to.
like, look, I don't want to eat my sister, so you have to die.
You and I would look each other dead in the eye, freezing cold, and go, Stephanie, we're making it.
Who's it going to be?
You know what we're going to do? We're going to be the last two standing. We're going to eat all these fuckers. You see that fat fuck in the corner? We're eating them.
Yeah, right.
It takes nothing. We'll get a stick. We'll poke him in the neck. It's over. He'll bleed like a pig.
We'll gut him like a pig. Yeah, right.
And then we'll just eat his fat butt.
Oh my God. Yes, totally.
We'd be those people. There's no
Hey.
doubt.
We're survivors.
I think about that, like The Walking Dead, that show, how they all
Yes.
had to figure out a way and only the survivors really remained. If you were nice, you were dead. You and I would live to the end.
It reminds me of Will Smith in
Legend.
Legend.
I love that movie.
I love that movie
Daryl
too.
loves that movie.
Jerry is like, why are you watching this movie? It's morbid. I'm like, the worst part of that movie is when the dog dies.
Well, no one wants the dog to die.
I was so sad.
Do you know there's a website that says, does the dog die? And you can check to see if a beloved creature dies in a movie.
So you know
beforehand, so you don't become completely devastated.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Mr. Skin, but for dead dogs and dead cats.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, there is. I mean, maybe it
How
doesn't exist
interesting.
anymore, but it
No, I'm
did.
sure it exists.
I don't know, but I was
Yeah.
just thinking about
One of my
it.
favorite websites is Murderpedia.
Stephanie, what's the name of the guy that terrorized LA in the 80s and 90s.
The Night Stalker?
The Night Stalker! Oh my God. I was telling, okay.
That guy is fucking crazy. Well, he's dead.
Thank God he's dead.
He died of cancer.
He should have died.
He didn't live that long.
Honestly, I have to tell you this. When he was dumb and fled into that Mexican community, they almost killed him. And I was like, God, they were so close to getting him.
Yeah.
And it would have been great. I would have been good with
you know what? Mexico's kind of like that. There's been a couple of killer type people who've tried to flee to Mexico.
Well, no, it was a Mexican neighborhood in LA.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
And he tried to, he
was going to do something.
Well, no, he was trying to run from the cops because he got caught because his face was on the front page of the LA Times.
Yeah.
They knew who he was. And so he ran into this community to steal a car, and he literally carjacked a pregnant woman. Yeah. And he hurt her. Not like he didn't,
punched her or whatever.
He punched her or something. And she was massively pregnant, and her husband was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
Right.
And then the entire neighborhood came out. Everybody came
like
out.
A rat pack,
and they all knew who he was, and they started beating him with a baseball bat. And the fact that he didn't,
the police had to pull him out.
The police had to rescue him.
I know.
And I'm like, I would have been like, I don't know.
I mean, but in a way, I'm glad they did. Well, we all wanted to see that guy get convicted of his crimes.
It is an interesting community. It's an interesting society in the United States that we actually want them to not be killed
long enough.
We want them to see.
Well, we want them to have the badge of the label of
convicted killer.
And not only that, but if you've seen now, if somebody doesn't get convicted, and like O.J. Simpson, there's these idiots out there that are actually like, well, he's innocent. They couldn't find him guilty. I'm like, okay, look.
Okay, he's legally innocent, not technically innocent.
Thank you. There's lots of people who get away with shit because our justice system is not perfect.
Well, they also get they know the loopholes. They get
totally. There's just things that happen, or the police fuck shit up. I mean, that happens a lot.
It's true.
So,
well, anyway, this is why I couldn't remember his name.
Yeah, that guy needed to be caught so that we all knew it was him that did what he did. I didn't want someone to later on be like, well, maybe he didn't do it.
Oh, no. It was and he was so insidious. Anyway, so last night we were on our way home from, we had gone to, we bought the candy. We were buying candy in Folsom. So we were on our way home, and I was talking about how I had this really preconceived notion about getting old. I said, I thought when you got old, like 70, 80, 90, I thought your entire body wrinkled like if you were in water. I didn't know. And I said, but that was my thought because, my grandma was so wrinkly.
Everybody was so wrinkly that we knew.
They literally look like little prunes. And I thought that's what old lady bodies from head to toe look like naked.
Yeah.
I said, but now he goes, no, I don't think that's true. I go, it's not true. And I go, this is such a reach. Please bear with me. Okay.
God.
He goes, well, why I go, but now I know that's not true. And he goes, well, why do you know that? And I go, please listen to me. I know I'm insane, and I know I'm dark.
Yes.
I was watching the Night Stalker documentary on Netflix last summer. And there's a time where he broke into a home with two elderly sisters, and he raped and killed them both, and he did terrible things to them. I said the crime scene photo only showed her from the thigh down. They didn't show anything horrifying.
Yeah.
I said, and my first thought, now understand, I was horrified by this entire thing, and I'm so glad they caught him. It wasn't about that, but me being weird, I go, wow, she was 84 and her legs look like mine.
They're normal.
They're not wrinkly. Yeah. And he's sitting there silently driving. And I go, so what I'm trying to surmise is that I've seen 84-year-old women legs, and they look like my legs. They're not wrinkled like I thought. Right. I go, so I'm kind of okay with, I didn't know.
Like, my body isn't going to be unrecognizable. Yeah, I'm ancient.
I'm not going to look like a Sharpay.
Yeah, right.
I go, I'm going to continue walking and doing weightlifting so that I don't get too, muscle loss. But I'm just saying, I'm like,
you just cannot give up. We were talking about giving up earlier. Giving up with your weight, with your,
you got to keep going.
You got to keep going. You have to fight, and it's not going, it gets harder as you get older.
It does. Or if you go through tough times, like if you're going through a mental crisis, it's like, don't give up. Yeah. God, Twitch passed away. He killed himself.
No, God, how sad was that?
I followed him on TikTok with his wife. Yeah. I truly did not realize he was Ellen's hype guy.
You didn't?
I didn't know.
Oh, I did.
I did not know. Yeah. And the fact that he went to a hotel and he ended his life with there was a note apparently. Mm-hmm.
He was so decisive about it.
Well, I follow a lot of crime scene cleanup Instagram.
Yeah.
And I find them fascinating because I think there's something about a person who can do that. I think it's a form. It's like somebody who works at a mortuary.
Yeah.
There's something loving about doing those things.
It can be, yes.
Well, they do it because at some point in their life, they're like, somebody needs to do this for these people. Someone needs this service.
Who's going to do it if not you? Yeah.
And the majority of their cleanups aren't actually crime. It's usually hoarders who die.
Yeah.
Or someone
Suicide
ends their life. And so they said, this one specifically, they said, I have been cleaning up after people for a very long time. And people who end their lives away from their family in a bathroom, generally it's in a shower or a tub, they're trying to be as
considerate,
polite and considerate as possible
for the people who are going to come after them.
And so it's like the housekeeping found him.
Yeah.
Which is terrifying. But I mean, my guess is that he was trying so hard.
I think somebody heard the gunshots.
They did hear something, and then they came in and found him. But I'm just like, this is exactly what I'm saying. It's like, you have no idea what someone's going through.
That's true.
You have no concept. TikTok, social media, it's just all lies.
It's all lies.
It's a lie.
Yeah, I agree.
The whole thing is a lie.
Nothing you see is, I mean, you could, it's literally, we've all become actors to some extent.
Yeah. And
because you show what you want people to see.
Yes.
Yeah.
And my point in that is, don't give up. Please don't give up, because I mean, we don't have enough listeners. We need all of you. We want you to be healthy and happy, and we want you to laugh. Did you see that review we got the other day about a woman?
About the woman who had 2 kids.
She's like, I've gone through 2 pregnancies with you, and you make me laugh. And I'm like,
that was so sweet.
I almost started crying. I was like, that is the sweetest thing ever. Was because we're not as interactive with our listeners, and I just think it's the nature of the show.
Well, podcasts in general are kind of like that, right?
Yes, and so, but I don't care. I love how we do it, and I love the listeners we have. Personally, I think it's amazing.
Well, I am curious about them. I think I'm curious about them a lot. Like, who are you people? Who are you? Are you as crazy as we are? And that's why you listen?
No, they're not. That's why they listen. They're like, these bitches.
It's like watching a train wreck.
It's like, we love it. They
can't just stop looking away. Like, oh my God.
Like, they pretend they have disabilities.
Oh my God. I know. I'm hoping that that's going to be all right.
I don't know.
I mean, it's true though. We do
we
this.
were children. We didn't know.
I know, but I mean, people get crucified for things they did 50 years ago all the time. I don't care if you were 8, you heathen.
I was a little more sadistic than you were when we were children.
Still are, but yes.
I don't cut the legs off of spiders anymore.
No. We don't do the kind of things that we did, but I'm just saying you just have a darker side to you.
I do have a
which
dark
is funny
side.
Because you don't come off that way.
I know.
I think if people just on the surface, they would think I was the one with the dark side.
You're not. You're you're really present with it. You're like, no, this is just who I am. I am this dark.
Well, yeah, but I mean, but you have a secret darkness that people don't know.
It's true. Daryl knows it.
Daryl knows it.
He's still here.
I know it.
It's crazy, but he is. Well, it was funny because I said I was watching this show and this couple was role playing. And they're like, oh, hi, nice to meet you. It was a Reddit. And they're like, we were celebrating our 1-year anniversary being married. We'd been together for a long time. We thought, hey, let's go to a bar and role play and pretend we just met.
Oh, God.
And so I appreciate the imagination.
Okay.
I told Daryl, I'm like, we could never do it. People would be like, well, not only that, but people were like, you guys are together. Stop it. Like, it's so obvious we've been together for 100 years.
Right.
But anyway, so they'd only been married for like a year. So they're sitting at the bar and he's trying to pick up on her, buying her a drink and doing all the things. And so she goes, I went to the bathroom and the girl went in there and she goes, oh my God, are you on a date with that guy? And she goes, yeah. And she's like, it's so obvious how much you hate him.
Oh my God. See, I can't even laugh hard because of my sickness.
And I was just like, if somebody said that to me, I'd be like, I need to reconsider myself.
Oh my God, for sure.
Because I'm like, what am I doing? And then I would come out, I'm like, we're done playing. I'm sorry, honey.
I know, right?
Let's get out of here.
I know. I have to do that to my, I don't know if it's because I've been married for so long. Like that it's easy to, it's almost like you're talking about your brother or sister sometimes.
Well, you're just so familiar with your person.
Right.
Yes.
And I'm like, God, I must sound awful. Like,
no, it's not, because it's just one of those things, but it's like, oh man, can you imagine? But no, they were role playing. So we were in the car and I said, anyway, I'm like, oh, hi, how are you? And he's like, I'm good. And I'm like, so what do you do for a living? And so he started telling me, we were just role playing in the car, how we would do it. And he's telling me, and I go, oh, he goes, yeah, I sell advertising. I'm like, oh, like Mr. Mom? He's like, Mr. Mom? I'm like, yeah, the wife went and did advertising. She did advertising. He goes, well, that's just a really old movie. And I said, oh, I'm sorry. Should I do something like Nothing in Common? Or I don't know. Who else does advertising in the movie world? And he's like, well, and I said, see, this is exactly why I never dated. Because I'm so irreverent. No one gets it. They're just like, Mr. Mom, I was like 6 when that movie came out. I'm like, well, so was I. But I'm just saying.
And I can still quote lines from it, for God's sake.
And Michael Keaton was cute.
Yeah, 220, 220, 230, whatever works.
I love that movie.
I know.
I do love it.
And that line specifically only makes sense to you if you have any understanding of like electricity or construction.
Right.
Like, the average bear would be like, why is that funny? I'm like, well, if you don't know, then
it doesn't make any sense.
It's not funny. Yeah.
I love it. Anyway.
And the guy that plays Ron in that movie, he's funny.
Hi, Ron.
What's his name?
Oh, Martin Mull.
Yes, Martin Mull. Is he still alive? He's
I don't know.
dead too.
They're all so old now.
I know, everybody's dying.
Everyone's old and dying, except for Keith Richards. He's still around.
Good Lord.
That man won't die.
Kirstie Alley has to die, but this guy is like 6,000 years old. And he's Moses.
He's put more pollutants in his body than anyone I know.
That's probably why he's still alive.
Anyway.
Real tissue or blood in him.
Seriously. All right. Well, we are done for the year.
Yeah.
And we're going to enjoy our holidays and our New Year's.
We were happy that we only spent like $1,000.
Stephanie.
I'm like, oh my God, we only spent $1,000 on Christmas this year. Wow. Amazing.
Oh, wait. Oh my God. Did your husband actually buy a PS5 from somebody in Georgia?
Did we talk about that on the show?
Oh, yes.
Okay, no.
Did he get his money back?
So he told me he did, and now I know he did it out of spite.
Okay.
He's like, I did it,
But he didn't do it?
But so a couple days later, I was like, so when's this fucking PS5 supposed to be here?
Yeah.
Because it's like 2 weeks from Christmas.
Yes.
And he's like, oh, I didn't buy that.
What?
I go, you told me you bought it. He goes,
we told the world you bought it.
Yeah. He's like, you told me. I go, you told me you bought it. He goes, I didn't say I was going to buy it. I said I was thinking about buying it. I go, no, you said you bought it. I go, so now you're a liar? Now you're lying to me?
Oh my God.
And he's like, well, he goes, I just figured, he goes, ultimately, I realized that it was probably a scam. I'm like, probably a scam? So something must have happened.
So he was somehow able to get his money back, and I
honestly don't think he bought it. I think he told me he bought it because
he said he spoke to a father.
He
and
did.
A child?
I think all of that was true.
Okay,
but I don't think he pushed the button. I don't think he actually Venmo'd the money.
So he changed his mind.
At some point either got some kind of a weird vibe or whatever happened, but he didn't do it. But
oh my God, that's so.
I was very grateful that he did
God.
it, and even if he lied to me just because he wanted to be like, yes, I did, because he did it out of spite,
of course.
Because basically, I was like, you're an idiot, Why would you do such a stupid thing,
right.
And it's not the first time he's done something stupid like that.
Yeah.
So
men do dumb things all the time.
I told you I had an envelope, a yellow manila envelope show up in the mail from China. It was all in Chinese. And when I opened it, there was a solitary surgical mask inside. And it was labeled to Jerry, to my husband.
What?
And I'm like, what is this? He's like, I don't know. He literally would not.
Why did he
I have no idea. What? I don't think he bought a surgical mask from China.
He got something else.
He got ripped off for something he was trying to buy.
Well, I hope it wasn't a $300.
That's what came.
$300 mask.
It was so funny.
That is crazy.
And then it disappeared from the kitchen counter, and I never saw it again.
He's like, this is a $300 mask
I
from
don't
China?
know.
Was it at least wrapped in saran wrap or something? It was just plain?
It was just a plain surgical mask.
Oh, he got ripped off.
For something, yes. So
either that or he just really wanted an authentic mask.
No. It was something very weird. And he was just not going to admit it, no matter what it was. So I never found out why.
That is so funny.
Yeah. So ultimately, though, we did get one. We did get a PlayStation 5 from Sony.
Thank God.
Legit. And we got it from Amazon. And
phew.
So, yes.
Well, that's good news. Oh my God, that's so funny.
My son will be thrilled.
I'm so glad that you recapped that for us because you said, I will keep you filled up.
I'm very grateful that
or whatever.
He didn't go through with it out of spite. Oh my God,
that's so funny. Anyway, yeah, so this is the last show for 2022. We will be back in 2023.
I know. How weird is that?
Do we have any goals? Do we have any resolutions for 2023, personal or show wise?
I don't have any. No.
I will tell you this. Daryl is adamant that we are going to do live streaming with cameras.
Okay.
So we have to be camera ready.
I shall.
Let's do it. I mean, once football season ends, it'll be easier.
Yeah.
Because I don't really have any desire to change the day we record, to be fair.
Same.
But I am cool with the live streaming. But I said we need ring lights. We need good camera angles. Like, I'm not doing this to look like a gross person. I want to look my best. And so when
there are a reason why famous people use filters and all that shit.
Or just good lighting. Good lighting
all
is
of
everything.
Everything. All of it.
So that's really important to me.
Because we don't look as good as them. We don't have all that money.
Well, we're not famous.
Yeah.
And we're not rich. So, you know, rich people, what was it? They're like, oh, no, you're not ugly. You're just poor.
Same.
Yeah, that's all.
What was that one Betty White thing I quoted? You must get 8 hours of sleep every single night, 9 if you're ugly. I'm like, there has never been a truer statement.
I mean, accurate.
Right?
It's accurate. It's just like that question is like, is he cute or is he just tall? That's Pete Davidson's lot in life. It's like, is he cute or is he just tall?
Poor Pete Davidson.
He goes through them like water.
I mean, he really does. I mean, I'm waiting for him to. It's great that he's had all these hot women and everything.
Yeah, but when's he gonna fall in love?
That one stick. He's not
even 30 though. He's got tons of time.
He's so young.
He's a baby.
I think he's 28.
He's a fetus.
Yeah, which is why Kim K was like, "All right, that was fun. Bye."
You know what though? To be a boy toy,
right? Especially for
honestly,
Kim Kardashian.
I mean, seriously, I wish that I found younger men attractive, and if I was a single person, I just have no interest.
Yeah.
None.
I know. Like, people don't understand, you know, when I get hit on at work by the clients that I serve.
Oh God.
I'm like, people,
come on. Really? You think what kind of standards do you think I keep? Like,
I'm like, you know, that's what gets me when they're asking me. I mean, I had this guy ask me out.
I've been disgusted by rich old men, let alone poor old men.
Well, there's just so many lonely people in the world.
I'll be your friend.
I know, right?
I'm happy to be your friend.
I'm telling you. But it's like they forget because I am just so amazing on the phone. I'm just kidding. No,
you are.
I make it a very pleasant, comfortable
That's your job.
Yes. And so they kind of forget that they're calling to do welfare benefits.
Yeah. They don't know.
They're like, oh, you've been so great. You're so helpful. You've been so nice.
Can I take you out for a drink?
You're funny. Yeah, I have to. No, this guy asked me out probably 3 times, kept telling me, I have to take you to dinner. You must
Stop it.
Yeah. And I brushed it off, laughed, ha ha, changed the subject, whatever. So the last time he did it in the conversation, he's like, I really need to take you out to dinner. Please. Would you seriously, like, would you do that? I'm like, are you going to pay with your EBT card?
That's what I was just going to say.
Literally what I said.
That's what
and then I laughed. Like, ha ha ha, like, just kidding. And
I'd be like, I don't even think Kentucky Fried Chicken takes this card, baby.
Yeah. Not going to happen.
We were talking about that. I always do this, and I think I just try to emotionally prepare because I don't ever want to be devastated and not surprised, or surprised, I should say. And I said, honey, I was talking to Daryl, and I said, I'm at the age now where no one's going to want to look at my body.
Same.
And I said, and
what am I going to do?
I'm just really sad about it because now I have to fuck 80-year-olds, and I am not into it.
I know.
I just don't want to do it. He goes, you're only going to fuck one 80-year-old, and it's going to be me. And I said, well, here's hoping, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, like life is weird. Things happen.
All I'm saying is that I don't want to do it. I don't want to fuck an 80-year-old, but I will if I have to, but I don't want to. I go, here's the thing. Girls got to get laid. Mm-hmm. And if I'm single, I will do what I have to do. I will look great as an old person. I mean, I'll fucking work out. I'll eat right. I'll do all the things. But man, I mean.
Well, you'd be surprised what you'd be motivated to do if you suddenly become spouseless. You know, like if our spouses were to die. And really, that's the only way we're going to be single, right?
Who am I kidding? I'm not going to do anything. I never have. I do whatever I want to do.
Lots of people get single though, and then all of a sudden they lose weight.
I work out constantly when I was single or when I was with somebody. I didn't care. You know, I did it because I wanted to do it. It'll be the same. It'll be the same, and it'll be like. I'll say no to everyone. I know. It'll be the same. I'll be like, fuck you, dude. Look at you. You're disgusting.
Yeah, right?
I'm like, you're old as fuck. So am I, but you're gross. I'm not.
I know.
Bye. But, and then I'll fuck some random 60-year-old bartender in some gross lounge.
Some Steve. All gay men are Rick, Mark, or Steve. And all gay men have track lighting.
It's so true.
Talk about random quotes. I can do it every day, all day.
What are you doing? That's a garnish. That's a garnish.
You're not supposed to drink the champagne. We're not guests at the wedding.
Well, I forgot my lucky mic. I love that
Lord,
random
people.
shit. It's so funny. All right. Well, happy holidays. Merry Christmas.
one and all. Happy
Hanukkah.
Hanukkah. Happy Hanukkah.
And the Kwanzaa, all the things.
All the things, yes.
And we will be back next year with
Sorry
more
if we didn't name your holiday, but we wish you happiness for whatever it is.
happiness and peace, whatever that is.
We'll have to talk about our New Year's, not resolutions. I'm not a resolution person.
Never. Although I did buy a rowing machine.
Did you?
It comes in after the first of the year. Daryl needs to get his ass on a thing. He just won't.
Yeah.
I work out all the time. He never does.
Yep. He doesn't want to keep gaining 6 ounces a year.
God forbid. We wouldn't want that.
It's like 2 shots of whiskey.
Can you 6 ounces? Well, Daryl, you've gained 6 ounces.
I'd be like, really? Thank
Jesus, what are
God.
you, an infant?
Right?
Jesus. You're 436 months old. And
You gained 6 ounces,
whole
but you lost an inch in height because that's what happens when you get old. You get
shrink.
shorter and fatter.
Oh,
So
God.
joyous.
Wonderful.
Oh, yeah. I got an email the other day from my investment company where I have some money put for work.
Yes.
Yes. This email is being sent to you because you're turning 50 in 2023. And you should be looking at how you're investing your money. I was like, you asshole.
I would reply, I'm like, fuck off.
I
don't know
so
what you're talking about. This isn't accurate.
I was like, this is fucking some bullshit. How am I getting this email? And who thought this was a good idea to word it in this way?
did you know that you can join the AARP and not be 50? Mm-hmm. Did we talk about...
No, I knew that.
Okay, so I read this article.
Because I've been doing it for years to get hotel discounts.
Stephanie, why didn't you tell me this?
I don't know.
So I
it
read
was
this
known.
article and Daryl goes, yes, AARP is having a resurgence. All the millennials are joining it because of the discounts.
Yes.
And I said, interesting. And so, I game. And I was just saying, I'm like, hey, did you guys know that you can join the AARP if you're not old? If you're not like 50 plus?
Yeah.
And they said, and nobody said anything. And then some girl, her name's Stephanie actually.
Yeah, you told me about her.
And she goes, all right, I'll admit it. Me and my husband joined the AARP and we're 36. And I was like, what? I'm like, this is all new. I'm like, you know what though? Any way to save a buck.
Hell yeah. I mean,
If it's just out there for
I
you.
didn't have AAA forever.
I love AAA.
I love it now. And I
Yeah,
was like,
yeah,
how
yeah.
did I never have this before?
I
But
know, it's
before
worth it.
Yeah, I didn't have it. And, well, I have a nice car now. I didn't have, I had shitty cars. And that's when you should have it actually, is when you have shitty cars. Because
Yeah, but you can't afford it. When you
Shitty
have a
cars break
shitty car,
down.
you can't afford anything.
I know, right? So anyway, yeah, so I used it for that forever. And I was in my 20s.
So now I'm like, well, maybe I should sign up for the AARP. I don't even know what the discounts are, but I mean,
Well,
why
certain
not?
things you get no matter what, but other things, like if you have, what you call it, auto insurance.
Yeah.
Like they have, the Hartford is their insurance company that they own. You can get the best. I mean, like, how is it that I can have $14 a month, for a car premium or whatever? It's ridiculous.
Really?
But you have to be ancient. Like, you can't get that just because you're AARP.
36.
No.
I
you
see.
You have to be like,
I think she was saying
legit
she
old.
used it for like hotel travel.
Yes.
And then
That's what I used it for primarily.
I think she even mentioned there was
It's like 20%.
that's significant.
Yeah, especially when you're staying at the places we freaking stay at.
I know. It's so true.
Yeah. We're such
Might have to go to Arizona
snobs.
in January.
Ooh.
And I told
for Daryl or
well, he might be traveling for work, but obviously
you're
we're
gonna
gonna
make it
get a visit in with his
Yes.
daughter and her children. But I said I can't stay in Goodyear. It's a dump.
it's awful.
I'm like, it's got to be Phoenix or it's nothing at all.
We'll drive.
I'm like,
It's fine.
I'm not, and it has, and her house is really nice and all that. The housing and all that is great. It's like,
not-
it's like a little Roseville. But the
Yeah.
hotel,
They're all like days in.
they're garbage. I mean, and we
Yeah.
stayed at one and it's like, Stephanie, it was really difficult.
Oh my God.
It was hard.
I can't.
And I'm like, I can't do this again.
I know. My daughter and I, when we stayed in, we flew into Phoenix, but we stayed in Scottsdale, and they put her up in a La Quinta. And I told you remember, I was like,
do.
oh my God, like what is happening? And it's funny because
La Quintas are actually kind of nice.
it was no.
They're not.
I mean, yes, but
I've only seen La Quintas on the highway.
I would
Like
never.
I've never seen them like going, oh no, this is the nice La Quinta.
So my daughter her corporation paid for her to stay there. So that's why she stayed there.
Did she upgrade? Is it nice?
There was no option to do so. I tried.
It's just a La Quinta. They're all the same.
Pretty much. It's either king or two queens, right?
Okay.
So, so that's where she had to stay. And because we literally had 24 hours together, I was going to stay there.
Of course.
Because we were,
Yes. What did you do?
Nothing. It was just terrible.
Oh, you stayed there?
Yes.
Oh, you did stay there?
I had to.
Like, I'm embarrassed to say.
It was $109 for the whole night. I'm like, my God, I don't think I stayed at a hotel this cheap. And I was 18.
Was there even like small sample shampoos? Or was it like
there was? That was
it like the little slivers of
It was actually Paul Mitchell, which was shocking.
What?
I know.
Well, that's how they get you.
But
that's what that $9 is for.
Seriously. But so my remote control didn't work on my TV, and I had to have it because you can't turn the TV on in a hotel without it.
No, you can't.
And I couldn't not have it. And
so you need it.
The hotel manager was also the maintenance person.
Oh, how convenient.
So she had to put a sign up at the desk to come to my room.
It's like you're in your own vacation movie.
It was horrible. I wanted to die. I literally was like, this is the most okay.
Although I did tell Daryl that. I said, you know what? Here's the thing. When it comes to travel of any kind, flawless is the way you want it to be. But there's no story if something doesn't go right.
Right.
I mean, something has to go wrong for there to be some kind of story. Or it's just like, we went, it was fine. Boring. Yeah. But like I told Daryl, like we stayed at the Grand Californian in Disneyland.
Oh, I thought that was nice.
It is their resort hotel.
It's like $400 or $500 a night.
It's meant for families.
I know it's meant for families.
So I've never wanted to stay there.
Right.
I have a vibe about it. I'm like, I just, but
there's snot on the walls and dirty diapers in the bathroom.
Stephanie, I walked in and I said, if the hallways where the rooms are, if it smells like diapers, I'm going to know that I was correct.
Or Desitin.
And I'm not going to stay. I don't want to stay here again. I mean, we're there now. We have to stay. It's a grand hotel.
It's huge.
It reminds me of the Aulani.
It has tons of restaurants,
like the
shops.
The Disney Hotel in Hawaii. It's modeled. These are their family resorts.
Yes.
There's a shit ton of things to do there. You don't even have to go to the park.
You literally don't. Yeah.
You could stay there and
it's all about the convenience if you're a family, right?
Course.
You could take the monorail directly to the park.
There's like this humongous fireplace with like leather chairs. There's a bar. There's this 40-foot Christmas tree. Santa comes out. I mean, it was all the things.
Wow. Well, so this is where you stayed at the most recent little overnighter you guys did?
Yes.
Okay.
So we walk in and we go upstairs. Everything's open, balconies. So when you're at the top balcony, you can look down and see everything.
Nice.
It's beautiful.
It's like an atrium.
I don't give a shit. I don't care about that stuff. So we go up, we're walking, and I turned to Mackenzie and I said, it smells like diapers. And I said, and here's the other thing. This cleaning crew that they have, they are cleaning 24 hours a day. I am not kidding.
Yeah. Oh, I believe it.
Scrubbing
especially
floors,
with COVID.
scrubbing walls, obviously the rooms. But I mean, there are so many children under the age of 5 wandering around. The amount of Pampers that must be in their dumpster,
oh my God,
has got to be next level.
I know, right?
And I said, it reeks of diaper. Like old pee smell. You know the smell?
I know the smell. We all know the smell.
And Daryl's like, I mean, this is what we had. And I go, I'm not complaining like, how dare you put us here?
Right.
I'm just saying it's exactly what I expected it to be.
Yes, and why I never wanted to stay here.
And we are not in this world anymore.
No.
Thank God.
Thank God.
You know, I mean, congratulations if you have a small.
Well, if it's your first experience, you don't feel the way we do now because you're going through it for the first time.
But understand that when I had little ones and I would have to stay at places like this, it still smelled like diapers and I still hated it and I resented it.
Correct. But you're like, this is my life. I can't change it.
Hey, it's part of life.
It is what it is. Yes.
But anyway, I'm like, well, it smells like diapers. And he's like, God, really? And I go, yeah, really.
Roll your eyes all you want. And I'm honestly like,
and the rooms are beaten to death.
Right.
Because kids have been in them and
there was literally a family of
rub their little buns all over the things.
Oh my God.
Their little naked butts all over every inch of that place.
Slobber, drooled.
There's no sperm in there.
Sneezed.
It's all baby butt.
No one's getting laid in those places.
No one's getting laid. Trust. No sex is happening at the
That is one
Grand
reassuring
Californian.
thing about that hotel. You don't have to worry about that.
And you can see all the dads down drinking their little $12 shot of whiskey.
My life is hell.
I'm just gotta get through.
I hate myself.
And my wife is mad. And I just want to sit here and drink this cocktail before she summons me to the room. Come bathe your son. You know what I mean? And he's like,
You
God,
got the wrong milk, you idiot.
it's like, how am I supposed to do this? Where are you? You were supposed to come right
You
back.
selfish asshole. You smell like beer.
Get the
Where have
Gatorade.
you been?
I swear to Christ, you better not be down there by that fireplace drinking a rum and Coke.
Poor guy.
I am up here with your children that you had to have. You know it. He's like, fuck.
Because I'm her too.
And so he's like,
I've done it.
He's like, fine. So
Poor
he gets up.
Jerry.
He's like, can I get a dentine so that my wife doesn't know I've been drinking?
But they're just not that smart anyway.
No, they just go up there. She's like, you smell. Take care of your child.
Go brush your teeth before you hold your child.
I don't want them to know
I don't
what
want
the
his
smell.
alcohol breath in his face.
Exactly. I don't want him to know what whiskey smells like yet. He's only 2.
And he goes head down,
Fine.
chin to the chest.
He's like, hi, Peter. How's the bath? Did you have fun today?
I want
Dad, I have to poop. And there it is. Honey, he pooped in the tub. Well, I guess he did. Didn't
Clean
he?
it up.
What do you want
I have
me
to do all the disgusting things? Do you have any idea what I've done today already?
Can I have a sip of my Gatorade, or shall I just go in and take over again?
What can I do to help you? Get out!
You just told me to come back. Well, I changed my mind. Get out of here.
You're making it worse.
Go buy some Cheez-Its.
Oh my God. And take Angela with you.
God.
Angela, go with your father. Make sure he gets the right chips.
I don't want to go, Mom.
And not the baked Lays. We want Doritos.
We want real food.
Oh my God. I was watching this TikTok where they were showing Harry. You know, we were talking about Meghan and Harry.
Yes. Why not? And you don't know why you don't like her, right?
She just gets on my nerves.
Well, there's one thing I don't like about her. I don't like that she pleads naivety. I didn't look up anything about Harry. I knew nothing about him.
Yeah,
except that you were obsessed with his mother when you were a child.
Right. Yeah, we all know that's a
Whatever.
lie. No, I think she comes off a little fake to me.
Well, yeah,
But yeah, you know, whatever. So, but somebody made a funny TikTok about it was called the emasculation of Harry.
Oh, Jesus.
So it started like when he was young and wild and he had all these hot girls around him all the time. And then it was like a progression and then he met Meghan and like different photos of him as times progressed. I'm like, it's called maturity.
It's called being mature. I mean, this is a kid who literally was photographed in Vegas when he was 20 years old wearing a Nazi costume.
Oh God, I know.
So and then he was immediately summoned back to England where he was nowhere to be found for a month.
Right. They had
because
to hide
they're
him away
trying
for a
to
while.
figure out what to do.
They're very good about press and all of that and figuring out how to.
They just didn't like Meghan because she was black and he was also so rebellious. And there was nothing to lose because he was never going to be the king.
Right.
And so they could just completely decimate this marriage.
I agree. I just don't, you know what I don't like about her?
It's horrible.
I'm not a huge fan of people who air dirty laundry at that level, at least in public. And they've done the Oprah thing now. And it's like, she's just so adamant about defending her character. Cause I agree 100,000% that she has been crucified in the media.
Oh,
unfairly.
absolutely.
Absolutely. But you can't win that. That is not a battle you can win.
Not really.
You really can't. You can't sue. People have tried it. God, they've been doing it forever since the dawn of time.
She did win one.
She did, but what did it prove?
Nothing.
Did it change anybody's mind?
Nope.
No.
Nothing.
And she could sue them all and win them all, and it still wouldn't change anyone's mind. So
and she might.
Right?
But it's not going to change.
But I'm just saying it's not going to change anything. And so for her to keep going out and doing these public media, interviews and talking about Harry's family and all of those things, trying to enlighten the world about the reality. I think people know what the reality
we're
is.
Pretty clear
We
about
kinda know what it
how the
is.
monarchy works.
But it's not going to change. And
No.
in America, we just don't give a shit.
People are obsessed with the monarchy. But it's not.
But not trying to politically write it.
No, we're more.
It's not our
watching.
world.
We're more watching it, going, thank God we don't have that.
Yeah.
It's kind of like watching a car crash, and I
Yeah.
shouldn't say that because of Diana, but it's kind of like watching this family desperately cling to thousands of years of
Yes.
tradition, and then these young rebellious princes and princesses going, we don't want to do it.
Yeah.
And, and it's like, well, you can try, but there's a bigger, it's like the Mafia Plus.
Kind of, yes.
We don't even know who's really in charge of
It's the institution.
the institution. We don't know who those people are.
No.
Nobody's ever known.
Because it's kind of like any government. It's not one person. It's this
collective.
massive, it's a collective thing. And there's no, I mean, and to be honest with you, the British people, the English people, they love their tradition. They
do.
love it. They want it as is. They don't want it tarnished. They don't want to change it. They do it to a point, but not really.
Well,
they're very traditional in that sense.
I will say, when we were in London and the Queen had just died, we got there 2 days after her funeral.
Right.
And the people we interacted with was this. They were irritated that the funeral inconvenienced their businesses because it literally shut their streets down. Nobody could do anything. Tourists were stuck. Because once you, especially in America, if you book a trip to London, there's no just changing it.
Right.
It's been in the books for 6 months.
Right.
So when we showed up, they were like, well, luckily you're coming at a time when the roads were reopened. Every restaurant's open again, luckily for you. So they were more concerned about that. They're like, look, they mourned her 10 days ago. This funeral is a pain in the ass.
Right, at this point.
Is basically it. But I will say, and I concur, when we were walking through, Buckingham Palace was wide open because the street was closed still. Nobody has ever been that close to Buckingham Palace because there's traffic.
Right.
Constantly. Because it's a road.
Right.
And it was shut down. There were so many Londoners there taking photos of themselves.
It was because it was a mark in history that never is going to happen again.
It will never be like that again.
Yeah.
And so Daryl and I were like, take note, because we are surrounded by England people.
Real
English,
life.
the
Yeah,
English.
yeah.
They have taken their time off and they are here.
Yeah, it's amazing.
This is something. And so it was fabulous. But you're right. So
that's
they
why
feel
I'm
like they have the right to criticize, but they do. It's their monarchy, not ours.
I mean, agreed. So, I mean, like you said, we all watch or are interested in it for different reasons if you are interested, you know.
Oh, I've been watching The Crown finally.
Oh, I still haven't
You don't have to, but
I might try to watch it today.
The episodes that have nothing to do with Charles and Diana are way better.
Oh, okay. Good.
Yes.
Well,
way
I've
better.
loved all of it so far.
Yeah.
I've never not liked any of them.
Oh, it's
even
good.
the seasons that some people weren't huge fans of, I still liked.
There's an episode about Princess Margaret, her sister. Remember how she was in love with that older general, the fourth guy? They revisit that.
Oh, good.
As old people. They're
interesting.
older. It is so sad.
Oh God, I don't.
But good. I mean, it's all real. I mean, you can look it up,
I mean, the show is dramatic, but
it's good.
One of the reasons why it's dramatic is because there's so many things that are forbidden if you're in the royal family.
I know, and this
it
one
is
was
heartbreaking.
forbidden, and it was really sad.
That's why we as Americans love it, because we deny ourselves nothing. Anything we want to do, we do.
It's true. We are the epitome of that. But you know what? I'm a patriot. I fucking love this country.
Oh, I do too.
I do.
Are you kidding me? All day long. But I'm just saying, like, in other places of the world, you know, you might have desires or want to do something with your life, and you don't necessarily get that choice.
No, you're given your
lot. Yeah.
It's true. All right.
That was long.
Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Oh, Daryl will break this up. You guys are going to get nuggets of this all throughout the holiday season. You know it.
Yes.
So I hope you get everything you want, and I hope everybody stays safe.
Have yourself a merry little holiday.
Yes.
Whatever that may be.
Run, run, reindeer. I love the Beach Boys. Don't you love that song?
Yeah, I don't know that one.
Oh, it's a good one.
I probably do know it, but
you do.
Bells will be ringing this Christmas time. Don Henley's version of that song is one of my favorites.
It is a good song.
Yeah.
Ning, ning, ning.
What's your worst Christmas song? Like traditional?
Rocking around.
Oh, really?
The Christmas tree.
I kind of like that song. So does Lauren.
Party hop. I learned that in 3rd grade. Mrs. Green taught it to us, and we had to dance around a fucking Christmas tree, and I hated it. I was like, this is a dumb song.
Well, I no dumber than pa-ra-pa-pum-pum.
You know, I'm not a big fan of the churchy,
the old churchy ones.
The churchy ones, like
our finest
joy to the world. I mean, I like that. Christmas Vacation.
I wish you could have seen my sister. It was pretty funny. It wasn't just the noise. She was doing hand gestures and faces in the whole bit. It was funny.
Yeah, there's the churchy Christmas songs I'm not a big fan of.
Yeah.
But,
well, yeah.
I don't know why. I just am not.
I do. I like some old, not, I don't know if it's churchy. That like the one that's like chestnuts.
No,
you don't like that song?
No, I love that one.
I was like, do you hate that?
No, I love it. It's one of my, actually, it's probably my favorite.
Yeah, that is
The
one of my
Nat King
favorites.
Cole version, though. Yes, of course. But there's some really good new Christmas songs. So I create this playlist for Daryl, and it's called Sparky. It is now up to 7 hours of Christmas music.
Wow.
I've been working on it for 4 years.
Wow.
And I change it every year, and then I give it to him. I share it with him. I go, okay, here's your updated Sparky playlist. And he's like, I love it so much, But Neil Diamond has come out with a Christmas album this year, Stephanie. And I meant to tell you about it.
Him.
You will love it. It's so good.
I love him because he's truly talented. He's got a lovely voice.
Good. And it has not... His age has done nothing to his voice.
I know.
It's so good.
That's the wonderful thing about having a
He's like, all right, here we go.
As long as you
did it Christmas. Like, that's how he's like. It's so good.
He's such a great entertainer.
It's great. Yeah. So he came out with a new one. And then Casey Musgraves, she nailed Christmas music.
Okay, cool.
There's some good country Christmas.
Kelly Clarkson does a good.
I think she came out with a new album, but last year's album was very, very good.
Was it Christmas?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Every year now she's doing one.
She has an amazing voice, so
I fucking love her.
Christmas music suits her.
Okay, and then we're gonna say goodbye because we gotta go. But so as you know, or maybe you don't know, J-Lo has decided that she is going to be singing a tribute to Whitney Houston at the Grammys.
Could she be any dumber?
She's like, well, we have the same vocal range. I'm like,
everybody laughed at that.
What?
And in fact, now there's clips of like
her trying to sing Barbra Streisand.
Well, like her staff or the behind the scenes people who are using their phones to secretly tape her.
Stephanie.
They're like, she fucking sucks.
And here's what's interesting.
She's like,
now I did see something, and I kind of have to agree. She goes, we all need to believe in ourselves as much as J-Lo believes in herself.
I know, right? She said P. Diddy was the one that convinced her. He's like, just own your voice. That's what you sound like. He's like, and you can't change it. He goes, so just do you. She's
know
like, what? I just had to accept that's how I sing.
And if you
can't.
And, well, I mean,
not completely.
She can hold a tune.
She can hold a tune. She's had lots of voice coaching.
Well, not enough.
Well,
or not the right one. I don't know, but I will say this.
You can't make your voice something it's not. Not everybody is a Mariah Carey or Whitney Houston, for Christ's sakes.
No.
Fool.
I mean, so this girl was like, we all need to believe in ourselves as much as J-Lo believes in herself. This woman has manifested a full career of acting, singing, dancing. She was in love with Ben Affleck. It didn't work out. They lived both their new lives. And then they came back and she got her man.
Yes.
She has collected some of the finest engagement rings on the planet.
True.
She's got like 6 of the most beautiful engagement rings on the planet.
I know, right?
And I'm like,
I'm not a fan of her current one, but
you know what?
It's green.
Ben Affleck is I don't know.
He's like, for as much money as he has, he's like your typical dude.
I think he just has bad taste.
It's like me getting a double Belgian waffle maker when I ask.
And she's just like,
yeah,
and she's just
for
like,
Christmas.
well,
like,
it's really special to me. And I'm like, that means it's not pretty. But if you like it,
it's all about the sentimental value when it comes to diamonds, isn't it?
Of course. Like, that's what we're all thinking. So when you get a chip, you're like, yeah, but it meant something to me.
It means something. That's why, like, these ladies who have been married for, we've been married for 40 years and we can afford anything we want now, but I still will my original thing from Wards. And I'm like, that thing is fucking hideous.
From Monkey Wards that doesn't even exist anymore?
It's a chip.
Stop it.
It's like one of those cluster rings that they put all the little chips together to make it look like a solitaire.
Yeah, but they call that a cocktail ring. And women wear those back in the 70s.
Oh, God.
Those big bumpy,
they're awful.
Whatever, man.
And white gold.
But anyway, what I'm hoping is that this is all a lie and that she's actually not going to be singing.
I don't think it's a lie.
What is she going to sing?
I don't know.
Is she going to sing?
She's so dumb if she doesn't.
How will I know?
I don't know.
Because she can't sing The Greatest Love of All.
Oh, God,
She can't sing I Will Always Love You.
I don't know.
Can you imagine?
Jamie, there's not a song that Whitney has made or sung that anybody would attempt.
I heard Christina Aguilera try to sing I Will Always Love You when she was massively pregnant, and it was terrible.
She's like, no.
And Christina Aguilera can sing.
That bitch can sing.
And it was off key, and I went, She probably looks at this and goes, why is this even out here?
There's
like,
only,
delete this.
Honestly, there's people on this planet, human beings who were born with that kind of talent. It's so rare.
It's God gifted.
There's a lot of people who can sing in the planet. I see people on TikTok singing to their newborns. I'm like, oh, you have a beautiful voice.
Yes.
But there's only one Whitney Houston.
Stephanie, I saw Jennifer Hudson try to sing and I Will Always Love You.
And she can sing.
And her voice cracked.
You can't do it.
Because it just takes...
It's the notes that she can hit.
It is such thin air, the women who can do that.
I know.
Whitney Houston, Mariah Carey can do it. Although she's got to warm the fuck up though. She really has to practice herself, but she's not kind of opera trained almost.
Because her mother and her auntie were.
I think Ariana Grande can nail any fucking thing.
That bitch can sing.
I fucking love her.
Have you seen the duets or the duo thing she did with Kelly?
Yes,
so great.
There was a time early on in my social media times when it was some old fuck who said, I used to, set up stages for the Dead and for the Rolling Stones and all this stuff. And artists these days are all auto-tuned and lip sync, lyric. They sing over lyrics when they perform and all this shit
to make it sound better.
And I said, I don't know. I'm like, Ariana Grande's pretty good. And this was when she had like one album out. It was a long time ago. And I go, I don't know. Ariana's pretty good. And I've seen her live before she was big. Yeah. And she's like, and he said something. He's like, I don't believe it. That's not true, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I mean, like, not everybody has to be the Grateful Dead. And by the way, they don't even sing that good.
They suck, by the way.
Yeah, they're terrible. I mean, whatever.
No, I mean, you know what? People,
it's just it's a vibe, not
people reminisce with times in their life with bands like that.
Right.
Oh, I was young and free and I was just finding myself.
They're so good.
That was so great. It was a great time. Yeah, it was a great time, but the band's not that great.
I didn't think so.
They're all right.
So anyway, I think about that so often whenever I hear her sing. Oh my God.
Ann Wilson,
so
that girl can freaking
sing.
Belt
out. I saw
Pat Benatar, she can sing.
Finally in the Hall of Fame.
And by the way, I did not mean to send you that TikTok. Jeff sent that to you and I don't know why.
Which one?
We are young. Heartache to heartache. Acapella.
The acapella one?
I didn't send that to you.
I thought you did. And
No.
Like, well,
I sent it to you. I did. I mean, I didn't personally send it to you.
So
yes.
Jeff is like, this is good.
I don't think I think it was either a fat finger. It was something like that.
Are you training your son to like horrible things like we like?
Well,
or does he have more empathy? Because my children judge me harshly.
He does. He's like, Mom.
Okay.
Like when I say things, he's like, Mom.
Yeah.
Like you're so like, how could you? And I'm like, okay,
what?
we're not on the same level like that.
I forgot that society has become much kinder since I was a
my
child.
son's very sweet. Yes.
All my children are.
I know it's weird.
I asked my son about
not weird that your children.
No, it is weird.
Weird to me that they don't have that diabolical undertone like we do.
I said something the other day to Mackenzie, and it was pretty benign in my opinion. I'm like, well, she's ugly, so it doesn't matter anyway.
Yeah.
And Stephanie and Kenzie goes, Mom, that is so harsh.
Right?
I'm like, no, it isn't.
Like, and I'm just saying it to you, by the way.
Yeah, it's not like I declared it to the world and went, by the way, everyone, her friend Chelsea's really ugly.
I know exactly.
Like, no, I didn't. I said it to you.
And don't tell anyone, all right? Because I'm just saying it here.
And I mean, and I'm like, you can be all outraged, but you agree. You just didn't have the balls to say it.
I know. I did say that to my child the other day about somebody had something about him being skinny and it bothered him. Yeah. Whatever.
He's a tiny child. He's just a kid.
And I'm just grateful that he's a thin child because guess what? Everybody struggles with weight when you get like 30, 40 years old.
True story.
So ride it as long as you can.
Yeah, enjoy it. Daryl,
but I was like, you know what?
It.
Yeah. I'm like, you know what? The person who said it, I'm like, he just said that to you because he's fat, Jeff. I'm like, and he is. He's like, well, he's just bigger. I'm like, he's chubby. He's got rolls and he's 11. I'm like, so stop it. I'm like,
it's funny. I said that.
And Jeff's like, Mom, that is mean.
I said something about being fat or whatever. And he goes, and Daryl's like, please don't use the F word in my presence.
Fat?
And I'm like, what? Fat? And he's like, yeah. He's like, you're not fat. And I'm like,
oh,
this is not about that. Okay. I'm like,
it's offensive to his ears.
Just say the F word, whatever, you know.
Yeah, I can say it all day long to myself.
He videoed me at Disneyland.
Oh, really?
Yes,
unbeknownst to you?
Well, he was kind enough to send me the video so I could delete it, but he won't delete it because he covets everything.
I know, right?
But he sent it to me.
God, I even told him, he was trying to show me photos of something on his phone. I'm like, Daryl.
Stop it.
No, I go, Daryl, did you already look before you started these swipes before? I go, because I don't want to see anything of my sister. He goes, oh, there's nothing on here. I go, that's what you always say.
It's a lie.
And then I'll see her bareback. And I'm like, stop. I'm like, I don't want to see my sister in any type of
sexual way.
Nude. Yes.
Well, I told you what he did.
Yes. Love that. That was so funny.
To this day.
Oh, yeah. But sure as shit, is that as he was swiping, there was some nostalgic picture of you. And I'm like, Daryl.
God.
He's like, what? It's nothing. I'm like, no, I know it's nothing, but
For you, it's nothing. Yeah. But for others, they don't want to see it.
And I'm her sister. So it's all the more weird.
I don't know. I have nothing of those. Anyway, all right. I've said enough. We're done.
Bye-bye.
We're coming back next year.